First name must be fuck you, because every time I'm in the car, bitches be like, fuck you. I'll be that. I'll be that. I'll be that. I'll be that. My first name must be he ain't shit, because every time I'm in the club, bitches be like, he ain't shit. I'll be that. I'll be that. Ooh, another stream. Ooh, another stream. Streaming for the memeing. Don't know how you got here earlier than everybody else on YouTube, but yeah, welcome. What's up? What's up? Good morning. How's everybody doing? Come on in. Come on in. The water's fine. Come on. Come on, you little scamps. Come on, you little scallywags. You know as well as I do that it's time. It is time. I've yet to peel myself off my bed, so I guess I'm doing pretty well. That's not bad. Yeah, I just got up too. Well, like 40 minutes ago or something. Got ourselves up, got ourselves around. Dude, I'm literally like, my sleep schedule is fucking doing weird stuff. Like, not weird, but like old man stuff. Like, I got tired last night. I was sitting here, I was feeling awful, and then I looked at the time and I was like, it's 10 p.m. I got up at 5 a.m. I'm exhausted. I'm tired. I need to go to bed. And so I laid down at like 10:30 last night, slept straight through the night, woke up at like 5:30. It's like, what is this? What is this? I mean, I don't mind it. I like mornings. I like seeing the sunrise and stuff. It's very pretty. But great show last night. I'm glad you enjoyed it. It was fun. It was a fun show. The CPAP working? Yeah. Does your back pain wake you up? Sometimes. Sometimes I'll wake up, I'll be really sore, to roll over. Portrait mode pimping. I know. YouTube treats these portrait streams way different, or at least they have the last two of them. The last two of these portrait streams are treated way differently than like my landscape stream. I don't know. YouTube's got a whole new thing. My first name must be he ain't shit, because every time I'm in the car, bitches be like, he ain't shit. I'll be that. I'll be that. I'll be that. My second name must be fuck you, because every time I'm in the car, bitches be like, fuck you. I'll be that. YouTube won't really let me watch the stream without a 10-second delay. I have gigabit internet YouTube. I can handle it. The fuck? What's wrong with YouTube these days, man? Why is YouTube so crazily cucked nowadays? Somebody explain this shit to me? I don't understand it. Give me that live chat. Going in. We're going in deep. Okay. Ooh, 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 ooh. So many messages held for review. What your farts smell like. That's why. That's why. We're gonna hide that one. We're gonna hide that one. Hey Paul, have you seen the new show Shogun? I do not. I have not. I watch one show at a time. If I'm watching a show, I do like an episode a day. That's kind of like how I do shows. And right now, Amelia and I are almost finished, I think. I think we got maybe one or two more episodes of the limited series Baby Reindeer on Netflix, which is fucking like way fucking better than I thought it was going to be. Started watching it and I was like, oh, this is kind of interesting. And like episode 3 happens and you're like, whoa, like what the fuck? This is a whole different show than I thought this show was going to be. Hello, Allison. Good morning. No, that Baby Reindeer show is fucking real. What do you think about the new Assassin's Creed controversy? I don't know what it is, so I can't really comment on it. I don't care. I'll be honest with you, don't fill me in. Gaming like as a like something to follow in the news and stuff has become like bitch boy territory. There's people crying about like inconsequential shit when they really should be crying about these companies releasing like fucking broken video games and having you pay $70 to beta test it. Like that should be what the gaming community is up in arms about, but they're up in arms about some butt or some boobs or some fucking this or that. It's just stupid. We said a ton of male SA victims came forward after that show came out. Yeah. Yeah, there were a couple of scenes in it that were really kind of hard for me to watch because they explore something that men don't talk about, and that is sexual aggression from women. Like there was a scene in the show, and then I don't want to like ruin the show or spoil it or whatever, but there's a scene in the show where this woman who's stalking him kind of pushes him up. He's bigger than her. He could have fought her off. She pushes him up against a wall and starts to reach down his pants and molest him and stuff. And he just kind of like freezes up. Man, that scene was hard for me to watch because that has happened to me. Maybe not in the same way it happened to him and for the same reasons, but we live in a fucking world where it's okay. Like, it's not, but it's okay for women to like grope men. Like it's considered to be a different thing if a woman comes up to you and just puts her hands on your genitals, you know? It's considered to be a different thing, and that has happened to me. And I saw that scene and how he felt about it, and I was like, if you watch the first episode of that show, you were gonna think like this is kind of like a lighthearted, slightly dark comedy. And by episode 3, you will be disabused of that notion. Some guys encourage that shit. Well, that's okay, right? If you encourage it, that means you want it. I've never encouraged that. I don't really like people putting their hands on me in that way, but it has happened to me several times in my life where somebody that thought they knew me well got a little drunk, decided they were going to get up close and do a little squeeze or do a little pat or do a little touch. Dude, it's happened to me multiple times in my life. And that's not even going into necessarily the show and why this particular guy freezes up and why it's such a crystallizing moment for him. It's one of those things that nobody talks about, right? And it's a show that covers that pretty explicitly. the idea of male sexual assault and the kind of confusion that can come after that, and kind of the pain of not being able to like tell anybody, or thinking that nobody really takes it seriously. I do. I got my fucking OG dinosaur on today. Gotta have the dinosaur. I've got my dinosaur shirt and the actual dinosaur right there. I was just scrolling through and things got dark sided. Yeah, we were talking about, you know. But yeah, and there's like a physical abuse thing too, because she kind of physically abuses him as well, like bullies him, pushes him up against things, gets him in a corner, yells in his face. All that shit has happened to me. Like, all that shit has happened to me. I had a real toxic relationship for my first one. And it's just the kind of thing that dudes, like, had the roles been reversed, had I done to my first girlfriend what she did to me, I'd probably have like a domestic violence, rap sheet or whatever the fuck. Like, no joke. She used to hit me. She used to scratch me, pinch me real hard, push me, um, back me into like a corner, like use the fact that I didn't want to hurt her by fighting back to back me into a corner and keep me there while she yelled at me. Shit like that, right? Pretty unreal. Like I said, if the script had been flipped there, I'd have been in jail, bro. But because the script is flipped, nobody even knew it was happening to me while it was going on. Because I just thought, oh, this must be what happens when, I didn't have anything to compare it to. It was my first like real relationship. And I was like, oh, this must be what like being passionate and in love with somebody is like. Sometimes the girl gets crazy and hurts you. Okay. I was stupid, but I was young. I didn't know any better. I didn't have, like I said, I never had I don't know. I just never had the right mindset about it at the time. Just joined your Discord a few days ago. Cool. It's a great Discord, isn't it? I like my Discord a lot. I chill there quite a bit. Discord.gg/Paul. I'm glad you're not in that situation anymore. Me too. Me too, yeah. My head out. I'm tired. I don't want to end up revealing too much about what happened to me. Cheers, Paul. All right, Alice. Understood. It's a pretty heavy topic to start with. I apologize. It's like 6:50 in the morning. We're talking about like sexual assault and physical assault and relationships and stuff. It started a little heavy this morning. My bad. Randomly scrolled through shorts and ran into this. Cool. Welcome. Hang out for a while. It's still interesting topic. Yeah, it happens a lot. It really does happen a lot. But it is pretty heavy to throw on people in the fucking morning. People are trying to like get ready for work and shit. They're like in here, I was assaulted. I'm not raising my daughter to think the boys should never put her hands on her. I made it clear that if she hits someone and put hands on, yeah, I mean that's the way because that's true, right? Like, you as a father cannot know the minds of some dude she might piss off. So yeah, it's better to prepare your daughters and stuff to know that, like, hey, if you take it physical, some people will take it right back and you will lose. Paul, do you kiss on the first date? I don't really date. I know that sounds stupid or weird, kind of, but I've never really. Yeah, I guess I've like my ex-wife. We went on a first date, I guess, but after that, it just kind of feels like you're together. You're kind of going out or going steady or whatever the fuck, right? Like I don't know, I don't really do the date thing. Like every relationship that I've been in, with the exception of my ex-wife and my current wife, actually started as like long-term friendships before they moved on to anything. And I guess with Amelia, that's kind of true too. We were friends for a long time before we got romantic or whatever. We were friends for a few months. Do what Bill Burr plans on doing and teach your daughter MMA. Probably smart. Paul's ego? It's me. Yeah. People keep finding me because I'm doing these stupid fucking portrait mode streams. What's up? I feel like you need a beer on a date. Huh? Where are you from? I'm from the sunny state of California, my friend. Where are you from? What business are you doing? I'm a podcaster by trade. So you're seeing me doing my job right now. I don't really get paid for these, but I do these for fun. I do a podcast 2 times a week, about 6 hours a piece. That's how I make my money. What do you do? Any reason you started doing it portrait? I accidentally did it the other day. I accidentally forgot to change it to landscape mode, and you can't switch it after you start the stream. And I was like, fuck it, I'm just going to go with it. And that stream got 6,000 views in a couple hours. It's fucking crazy. And a bunch of people came in during that stream going like, man, I haven't seen you in years, or blah, 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 blah. I just found it doom scrolling, watched some of the old DP episodes a few months back. What's your new podcast? It's Deep Fat Fried, we call it. You search that on YouTube, Deep Fat Fried. Or even better, probably, our Clips channel is called Onion Nuggets. Onion Nuggets with a Z at the end. You search that on YouTube, you'll find our Clips channel, and you get to see kind of like a better selection of what we do, because most of our podcasts that go up on Deep Fat Fried are live, and then they get taken down and made available for patrons. And then everybody else gets clips. So if you want to check it out, I'd check out the Onion Nuggets channel. And if you end up liking it, become a patron. Morning dove in the background has to be my favorite bird call. I do love a morning dove. I just love bird calls in general, though. Excuse me, that's disgusting. I shouldn't belch. You look kind of German or Scottish, maybe. Irish. Very close. Got a little touch of the German, got a little touch of the broader British Isles, a little touch of Scandinavian. That's my genetics. So you got close. Starting to like these streams. I used to dislike them. It seems more chill. Well, I'm more chill recently, so I guess it's kind of bleeding over into the streams. You know, I can't help but be a little more chill now. My brain is working properly. My body is starting to like recover from years and years of abuse. I'm starting to wake up. I've got the same exact genetics, Dad. Yeah, probably. I probably got a lot of you little bastards running around out there. Sorry to be random, but your skin looks great, man. Yeah, thanks. Yeah, everything has improved. I recently spoke to a fellow that said it was awfully nice of the USA to not take over the world right after World War II. We had a big military plus sole access to nuclear weapons. Do you have any thoughts? Absolutely, yeah. No, it's true. I mean, there are a number of times, but I think World War II is probably the starkest. America, if it decided it wanted to, really the only opposition I could see us facing would have been Russia, right? I think that Russia, who had allied with us against the Axis, would have seen us kind of snagging territory, and probably would have been the only force that could have opposed us. And I don't think they could have opposed us for long in Europe. So yeah, I mean, the United States easily could have just decided, you know what? Europe is a subsidiary of the United States now. We're just going to go ahead and take this. And it would have been simple, simple, simple. I don't think the United States wanted it. That's the only thing I can think, because I've heard this before. I've heard people talk about this before. I don't think the United States wanted the problem. I think we wanted to like keep economically exploiting that area. Fair enough. I also think you were a lot more intense back in the DP early. I mean, I still get intense. I don't know. You may not have watched in a while, although I recognize your name, so I'm pretty sure you have watched. But yeah, I don't know. I'm older now, so. But I'd like to think wiser a little bit too. Like my health is better, so. Got to play any Ghost of Tsushima, dude. I did. I haven't had time really to play a lot of it, but right before the show yesterday, I jumped in, finished the like tutorial mission, got into the open map and messed around a little bit. Like I had about an hour before the show, and oh my god, bro, game is unbelievably beautiful. My rig is able to play it at like maxed out everything's HDR on. I got an OLED, so it's just like that fucking game is like, oh god. I've heard people are having problems with it, like I guess, but I don't, so I haven't yet. So yeah, I've been waiting for that game for a long time. That is a game that had tempted me several times to just buy a fucking PS5 so I could play it, and I'm glad I didn't. Yeah, I haven't seen the last few Flash Ride episodes. Sometimes I take a little break. Yeah, no, it's all good, dude. Understood. I don't know what's going on with the Assassin's Creed thing. Like One Winged Angel says, usually discourse around games when people get all butthurt about the content of games. I'll say this again because there was nobody in here earlier when I said it. Um, if gamers want to get together and like rise up and be mad about something, they should be mad about the fact that these AAA developers are releasing garbage tier fucking alpha games, asking you to pay $70 and then not paying you anything to beta test their fucking buggy ass game. The fact that it takes games, good example is Diablo 4. When Diablo 4 released, I got it because I'm a Diablo fan, right? I pre-ordered the fucking thing. I played it, right? And I was like, this game isn't even fucking finished. And I stopped playing it. A friend of mine just yesterday, it's like a year almost after the release of that game, a friend of mine just yesterday goes like, oh, hey, Paul, they fixed a bunch of stuff in Diablo 4. And it's like, dude, bro, I'm not going to paid beta test your game for a year until you can figure out how to make it a fucking playable game. That's just bullshit. That's just bullshit. So if you, I feel like if gamers or whatever want to like rise up and protest something, it needs to be that. It needs to be the fact that like nowadays it's like par for the course for a video game company, a AAA video game company, to release an unfinished, buggy, sometimes unplayable piece of garbage and then expect you to just do bug reports and sit on your hands for years while they finish it. Bethesda is famous for this. Blizzard is famous for this now. Blizzard used to be one of the most polished game studios. When you got a Blizzard game, that game was gold. Gold. It might have needed a little tweaking, a little balancing, maybe a patch here, maybe a little skosh of something there. Dude, they were gold back in the day. Ready to play, stable, bug-free games. Are you Christian? Are you Christian? I am not Christian. Thank you for asking. I've got any problems with Christians, but I am not one. Japanese games are better than Americans. Yeah, I don't know. That's a hot take, my friend. It's a hot take. I guess I'll let you do that. I thought there was going to be more than two from that guy. I got my finger itching. No, it's all good. No worries. No worries. What's on your mind? I don't know. We're talking about it, I guess. It's not really. I mean, sometimes I come to these streams with an agenda. I'm like, I'm going to talk about this today. Most of the times, I just come to these streams with like a, well, let's see what people want. You did not hear a cardinal. You heard a blue jay, or more specifically, a scrub jay. They're very similar calls, but they're not the same bird. Yeah, there are no cardinals in this area. I've never seen a cardinal here. If there was one, it would be a poor little bastard that got off course. But we have a huge population of scrub jays here. Hey, Paul, what do you look for in a man? This is a tough question for me because I don't know. You know, I was a closeted bisexual guy until I was 40. I've only been out for 4 years, and I've been in a committed relationship all 4 of those. I don't feel this like drive or impetus like I've been denied or something like I have to be with a man. But I just don't know. I don't know. I never allowed myself to really explore that in an open way in my life, and so that's the most honest answer. Honestly, I really don't know. I know kind of like what I find attractive in men is very specific. I have kind of like specific attractions to certain men, and then broad attraction to women. Um, and with men, it's usually like more effeminate men or more androgynous men. Saw they might be giants last night. Oh, cool. So this dude likes getting his turds pushed in. I don't know. I've never had them pushed in, but maybe I would. Yeah. You want a booty blast me, bud? You want to take the brown cherry? Paul, I got a diesel watch. Any good? Sure. If you like it, they're a cheaper end kind of main brand watch, but they're a good watch as far as I know. Not my style, but yeah, go for it. What is this weirdness, man? I guess being in the shorts, there's got to be a lot of randos just like coming by and just saying some silliness. Great answer, sir. You need to put that cig down and smoke a fatty J. Okay, I will. When I'm finished with this, the J comes out. Okay, bro, I promise. My wrist bone makes watches look dumb as fuck on me. I don't know. I'm sorry. You're gonna get banned, DJ, if you keep spamming. I'm fine with you like hanging out, um, but this is not the place to like spam proselytize. Okay, if you want me to be a Christian, show me Christ. Show me Christ in you. And I'm being dead honest. If you want me to be a Christian, if you want to convince me, show me Christ in you. Show me Christ-like behavior in you. That's the best argument that you can make. Dude's a troll, ban him. That's okay. That's okay. He can be banned. But I'm just saying. Like when people do that, dude, that's the new way that I argue with Christians. Be Christ-like. Show me the strength of your conviction. Be Christ-like. That's the argument I want to hear. I've heard all the verbal arguments and they aren't working. So be Christ-like. Let me see Christ in you. That's the argument you can make. too. I had a young Christian in the office with me. Told her exactly what you're saying. It worked very well. So you guys, if you've never been around Christians, I've been around Christians a lot. There's some terminology, right? Um, uh, One of those pieces of terminology that I would use is baby Christian. Have you ever heard that? Baby Christians tend to be very zealous. So you've got high zealousness, but low knowledge of their religion, right? That's a baby Christian. They want to save everybody because they've been changed fundamentally by this acceptance of a religious creed. And they want to have everybody feel that. And so they sometimes are very aggressive in going out telling people, oh, you're going to hell. Oh, you know, Jesus loves you. Accept Jesus. Come to church with me. Come to church with me, right? And that's a baby Christian. And I always feel bad when a baby Christian approaches me in that way because I'm not a Christian, but I'm not a baby either. I've read the Bible twice. I've talked about religion. I know I can quote the Bible in certain ways. Um, I definitely know a little bit about the structure of the Bible. I know a lot of the arguments for and against the Bible. So if you're a baby Christian and you come to me, it's kind of tough for you, right? And when that happens, I've oftentimes like shut it down. But I'm gonna start saying, "Show me Christ." From here on out, when a baby Christian comes to me that way, and it will happen to me, I'm gonna say, you know what? The words of your mouth have very little effect. I want to see Christ in you. I want you to show me Jesus Christ's philosophy through your actions. That's the best argument that you could make. You want me to be a Christian? Show me. Because that's not a mean shutdown, you know, it doesn't hurt that person's little feelings, but it also lets them know that, like, the words of your mouth are really not what the Bible preaches about spreading the gospel. It's by your fruits that they will know you. You ever heard that term? You ever heard that little Bible quip? By their fruits ye shall know them. Talking about Christians. That means you don't have to hear their words. You will see in their lives Christ shining through them. And if you can do that, you've made a pretty good argument for Jesus in my book. Religion aside, the existence of God is irrefutable. Well, it's an what do they call that? They call that it's irreducible complexity, right? So I could say the same thing about unicorns, right? And you couldn't do any better at disproving me than I could you. So I could say, hey, dude, all bullshit fantasy aside, unicorns are real, dude. Unicorns are real, bro. And you could say, no, they're not. That's fantasy. Bullshit. Prove it. Right? It's just a non-starter of a conversation. You just say God is real. It's like, all right. I know a lot of Christians who keep their faith to themselves, and they're amazing people. It's the zealots that push crap on you that I hate. I don't really hate them, man. The truth about it is, dude, it can be annoying, and there are some really ugly things that are pushed in religion. But when it comes to Christians themselves, a lot of them just mean well. They really do. Fatty, J.K. Did you shit on me and then feel bad about it? Is that what happened? Like within 5 seconds, you were like, "Fatty." Oh, just kidding. What was that? What the fuck, bro? What is your religion? I don't have one. I would call myself an atheist. Chat is so stupid this morning. That's kind of the trade-off doing the portrait mode stuff, is because we're just getting randos from everywhere, man. People see my face and they go like, oh, I gotta go check this guy out. And they're just like, yeah, mods are always putting in work in here. They have to. You have a beautiful face, Paul. Stop it. Stop it. You're gonna make me blush. No. No. You think DNA and RNA for millions of specific species was an accident? It was coded. That's actually just not true, dude. Like, I'm not a geneticist, but I know about antiretroviral DNA. So let me explain something to you, right? Chimps and humans, as you probably have heard and have probably just denied because it doesn't fit your worldview, share something like 96% of our genetic code. And one of the ways that you can tell that we share a common ancestor is because we both contain markers for retroviral infections. Certain retroviral infections leave a genetic marker that persists from parent to child, parent to child, parent to child. And so our antiretroviral DNA markers are exactly the same, not similar, exactly the same as chimps and other apes. So if you can explain how that implies design and not a slow, blind process of adaptation, then hey, we'll have a conversation. But you can't do that. You can't do that. So you might want to look into that. You might want to look into that. You know, that's a really hard to it's a really hard to deny point. How much you weigh? So the last time I weighed myself, I weighed 340 pounds. That's down from 367 pounds just a few months ago. And so I'm really working on losing weight. I'm eating better, exercising, all that. And it's working, which is nice. Hi, Paul. I was a huge fan when I was in high school. Big guesses. I don't really think that Christians have to defend their argument unless they're presenting an argument, right? A lot of older Christians that just say it's a faith thing, I accept that. That's an honest answer. I can't prove it, I just believe it. Okay, cool. And if you're not pushing it on me, I'm not gonna fucking hate on you for it. I actually appreciate when Christians will do that because I can just skip the argument, you know? Oh, okay. You believe it despite evidence. You believe it despite it having no evidence. That's cool. I understand that. I believe that 9/11 was an inside job, okay? Do I have a fucking ream of evidence to show you? No. But I do believe it. I mean, shit, I wouldn't doubt it. I mean, you shouldn't. Paul, what conspiracies do you think are real? Well, this is like, so you know, there are a number of conspiracy theories, things that are called conspiracy theories that are real, right? So, my favorite one to point out to people is the Gulf of Tonkin incident. This was an incident where an American ship was quote unquote attacked in Vietnamese waters, and it was used as a reason to get America to commit more troops, and to really ramp up and start proper the war in Vietnam. It was a false flag attack. It never happened. The Vietnamese never destroyed a boat. There was a boat that, and this is all true, by the way, this is not just speculation. Declassified documents have proven that the government used the Gulf of Tonkin incident and created it in order to solidify people's support for invading Vietnam. So that's an example of something that people would call a conspiracy theory that is also true. The failed invasion of the Bay of Pigs, Operation Northwoods, Agent Orange, all of these things at one point were big conspiracy nut things. Um, and now they're known to be true, right? The CIA perpetrating a coup in Iran, right? Overthrowing the democratically elected leader, the Prime Minister Mohammad Mossadegh, um, and replacing him with the Shah of Iran, an America friendly puppet that was brutal to his people. You in Arizona too? No, I'm in California, but I have lived in Arizona. I lived in Phoenix, Chandler, Mesa, and then Tempe. I skipped Scottsdale. It was a little too rich for my blood. And Mesa sucks. Conspiracy isn't about real or fake, it's about conspiring. Exactly. A lot of people think conspiracy theory means fake thing that somebody believes. Conspiracy theory is just that, pointing out an instance of people conspiring. Pedophile Island and Epstein, yeah, I can see that that's probably a big conspiracy of silence. I don't believe that Epstein killed himself for one fucking second. I don't think I'm alone in that. Which means that I think people in the government facilitated his murder to keep him quiet. And they would only do that if he had information on them. So it lets me know that there are high ranking people in our government who have availed themselves of the particular business of one Jeffrey Epstein, which happened to be trafficking young children for sex and pimping them out to rich people. So that guy was murdered by the government to keep him from talking, because he probably had a laundry list of names and dates and proof of high-ranking government officials and their family members and powerful people having sex with children. And so he was murdered. He was murdered in his jail cell. The 24-hour surveillance camera malfunctioned that night. The guard that was on duty happened to be a temp guard, and he wasn't paying attention that night. Rut-row. It's kind of crazy. You're in Tennessee? Huh? I'm in California, buddy. Do you think Vosh is a DNC plant? No, I think he's just that stupid. I think it would be giving Vosh a little bit too much credit to call him a DNC plant, because that would require like some guile, you know? And he would also be making a fuck ton of money off of it. No, I think he's just that dumb. I think he's just easily duped. I think he wants the easy way out. I think he likes prescribing the easy way to his audience, because I think that's what sells to people. People don't want to hear the hard way; they want to hear the easy way. And I think that's how Vosh makes his money. I don't think he's. I don't think he's. I don't think he's anywhere near like charismatic and intelligent enough to be a real plant or a shill or whatever. You got to be a certain level of charismatic and poisonous to be a shill. I just think he's dumb. I just think he's young. I think he wants to be seen as way more intelligent than he is. I mean, I just watched a fucking video the other day that somebody linked me of him going on, and I thought this was a joke, going on a legitimate tirade against reading. He said, and I quote, "Reading books doesn't make you smarter," end quote. And went on like a 25-minute tirade against people who read books. So what this tells me is I've got a young man, right? I guess not all that young anymore. He's 30. I've got a 30-year-old man who doesn't read books, trying to tell me something about philosophy or politics that I don't know, having read hundreds and hundreds of books. The tree have a penis. Well, looks like... Well, my dudes, looks like we've got ourselves a reader. What you reading for? I don't know. Maybe so I don't end up a weird man bun wearing lolicon watching fucking idiot on YouTube, I guess. I've never had anybody ask me that before. Reapy-doo. Your favorite book series? Book series. I mean, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to be really fucking boring with you, and I'm going to say The Lord of the Rings. The reason I say that is that I was a reader as a kid. My parents got me Lord of the Rings for my I was 8 years old for Christmas, and it changed my fucking life. Dune would also be up there. Dune changed my perspective as well. I know those are both really popular, but I'm not a big like series reader usually. I like to read one-off books, but I like all types of books. I love reading nonfiction. I love reading fiction. I love reading biography, autobiography. Love reading like philosophical treatise, manifestos. Like I've read hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of works by hundreds of authors, and I would say I don't consider myself to be the most voracious reader. I would say conservatively, I read 8 to 10 novels a year on average, probably, and have my whole life since I was about 8. Maybe a little less, maybe a little more, depending on the year. Somewhere in that zone. I gotta go get some smokes. I'm out of cigarettes. I'm out of smokes. I need another pack. Hello, D. Mm-hmm. We demand to see Dinor. Okay. Come here, dude. Come on. Go see. Go see me. You gotta see me. You gotta see yourself. Oh, what a pretty boy. Come here. No, you stay. You stay. You stay. Get a chest rub. Get a chest rub. Get a chin scritch. Get an ear scritch. Get a neck rub. Oh, yeah, you like a neck rub. Get a booty pat. Get a booty pat. Get a chest rub. Get a chest rub. You demand, I deliver. That's the way it works, right? Handsome little dude. I know, right? He's so odd, but so cute and so sweet, but so odd.
I haven't worn that shirt forever, I feel like.
Yeah, the Dinor shirt. I just felt it today. I was like, I'm putting on the Dinor shirt today. Hey, Paul, how did you and Amelia meet? We met on Instagram. I had just broken up with my long-term girlfriend. I was feeling kind of sad. I was visiting California, like staying with my family for a little bit, for a week or two to get my head on straight. And Amelia DM'd me on Instagram, which I had only recently just started using. And she said, hey, you look like you could use a booty. And she sent me a picture of her booty. And I replied something like, you know what? I did need a booty. Thank you. That was nice. How did you know? That'll do it. Yeah, that'll do it. Was Amelia a DFF fan? Yes, she was. She was aware of me through my internet machinations.
That was a lapsed one. I wasn't, like... I think I'd only really started watching it again, like, a few months prior to that.
And you told me at the beginning, you were like, I wasn't even the biggest fan of you.
Well, when you very first got on DP, I was just kind of like, we'll see. See what this
You're like, you weren't my favorite. I was like, damn, ouch, wound me. I think it's love. I think I was Cupid.
But I wasn't, like, lusting after you ever since I've known that you were a person.
No. You just sensed something in my eyes that said, this man needs a booty.
I guess.
You must have. I don't know, you've never, like, what made you do that?
I don't know. I just...
When you think back, like, I don't think we've ever talked about that.
I just... wanted a friend at that moment in my life, I think.
Well, it worked out.
Yeah.
Because that is what ended up happening.
Yeah.
We were friends for a few months before we ever started doing the romance thing. I mean, we kind of had friends with bennies every once in a while, but yeah, interesting. That's great. That's cute. A modern romance.
You put me on the spot when I woke up like 5 minutes ago.
I know. You did good though.
Yeah.
Do you still have that booty pic? No. Well, I do technically, like, I shut down my Instagram account, but I think I could reopen it. It's in there. Mm-hmm. I don't save, like, things like that to my phone because I'm afraid somebody might hack me and get my stuff. So,
Facebook has it somewhere.
Maybe, yeah. Or Instagram. Or Facebook owns Instagram. Yeah. So, yeah. Instagram's got it somewhere in the DM files or whatever. But I don't have it. I can see the booty anytime I want now. And I avail myself of that, trust me. When it comes out, my eyes are go. Paul, how would you recommend speaking to a Jewish person about the Palestine situation? My girl and a lot of my close friends are Jews. It's super hard to discuss. You are going to have to, like, tamp down your emotions, bro. That's the only Like, I don't really have a whole lot of advice other than that. They're going to be very emotional, and if you meet emotion with emotion, it's just going to be a fight. And if that's not what you want, then you have to bring it to your you have to put it on yourself to be calm, to not let the insulting or kind of like passive aggressive things that they might say to you trigger your fight or flight response. You have to be calm, and you just have to kind of like, I think the best thing to focus on is the kids.
Well, also don't assume too. Like just because they're Jews doesn't mean that they've picked Israel's
No,
side
that's true.
wholesale.
There
Yeah.
there are plenty of Jews that oppose what Israel is doing, but I'm assuming because you're asking me, your family does not oppose it. If that is the case, I would say focusing directly on the children. Just say, look, I'm like Bill Burr did it on Bill Maher's show the other day. Bill Maher was saying, "Oh, these kids are protesting for the terrorists," and Bill Maher said they're protesting for the Palestinians. And Bill Maher was like, "Oh, is that you? So you're on that side too?" And Bill Burr took a second, took a drag on his cigar, and said, "I'm for the kids." And it really fucking triggered Bill Maher. Not triggered him in a bad way, but like made him think.
Mm-hmm.
You could tell that like he did not want to hear that. And so if you're gonna do it, I mean, be ready to one, not convince them immediately. Oftentimes, talking with people about politically contentious things is the act of planting a seed and hoping that a little bit of rainwater comes down on it, but you have no control over that. You have no control over that, right? And so if you look at it from that perspective, right, I'm gonna have a conversation today. This person is probably not going to do what I want them to do, which is to have an epiphany and go like, "Oh my God, you're right." Um, you put that out of your mind, and you say, "I'm gonna speak my heart. I'm gonna speak my beliefs, and I'm going to try and be calm and cool and collected and kind and understanding to this person in hopes that this conversation plants a seed that blooms." Well, I think there's a Zionist in your Discord. There's actually a couple. Yeah. There's a couple of guys that are very pro Israel that hang around the Discord. One of them that I know of especially is kind of a lol cow. He's around just because nobody takes him seriously, kind of, and he insists on making an ass of himself. And there's another couple of dudes, I think, on the server that would probably be Zionists. You're a Zionist, understood. It's okay. It's a very hot, contentious conversation to have in the workplace and in personal life these days. You're not wrong. And by the way, Peter, I fucking miss you, dude. I hope we can get you out, dude. I'm gonna get a hold of you as soon as I have information about the next meetup, and we are going to make it happen for you. The guys have already told me, so we're gonna help you out. We're gonna get you set up, okay, so that you can come to this one. Because I can't fucking. It's not a meetup when you can't come, bro. So you're coming to the next one. I'm just letting you know. Keep your eye on your texts. As soon as I know some dates and stuff, I'm gonna get a hold of you and find out what you need and what we can do for you. Okay? We're gonna get you there. There's no bullshit. No ticket at the door. We'll get you a little hotel. We'll get you a little flight. Okay? Or we'll help you if you need that. Dude, I can't hang, dude. It's not a meetup if Peter's not at the fucking meetup, dude. Peter's like a little fucking ray of sunshine at the meetups, bro. I keep calling him little, and I'm sorry, but he is a little person in stature, a big person in personality. No, I love Peter. He's a great guy. He doesn't treat me like shit because I'm a bad texter. Like Peter will text me sometimes, and I won't see it for like a month, and when I get back to him, he's always like, "It's cool, dude. I understand." Like he understands me, and he's just a nice guy. So we're gonna get you there, Peter. How long was the gap between you went to Texas and reconnected with your dad? Uh, 2015 to 2023. What would that be? 7 years?
Wait, was it 2023?
Mm-hmm. It's last year.
I thought it was the year before because we went to Thanksgiving
Is it?
with your family. But when we met up with your dad,
It
we
can't
went
have
to
been that
Vegas.
fucking long ago.
I think it was.
2022 then, I guess. You could use a haircut and a shave, my man. Thanks for the advice. I'll pass, though. I like the way I look. Hey, Paul, how is Tucker's website? It's not great. It's not great. I haven't been able to bring myself to pay for it yet. And I told my aunt I would, and I'm fucked. I'm fucked now. Because she's going to call me on it. But I looked at what was on there, and I was just like...
They don't have a free trial or some shit.
I don't know. She said she would pay for mine, and I told her, I'm not going to let you do that. No, I can pay for it. And that was dumb. I should have just let her pay for it. You still got to try out dreadlocks, Paul. They're great. No thanks.
Some coffee.
Thank you, honey. I was not the fake Peyton, by the way. I admitted I was triple baconator. Okay. All right. You're not the fake Peyton, though? Spinosaurus, you've got TJ's paranoia creeping into my life, dude. Now, Spino's allowed here. All right? This is a Spino safe zone. As long as Spino behaves, Spino can stay. Trying to do exposure therapy because I'm starting to get as afraid of Spino as TJ is. TJ literally sees Spino in every dark corner. And it's starting to creep into my mind, and I can't have that. I can't let that happen. So I got to do exposure therapy to Spino. He'll be here. Okay, Spino will be here. Did your dad reach out to you to reconnect? My dad almost died of cancer. That's the story. So in 2022, I got a call from my sister who said, I know you don't understand. You don't want to hear this probably, but Dad is really not doing well. I don't think he's going to make it. If you're going to come see him, now's the time. And I sat on it for a day or two. And immediately, once I made my mind up, I packed up some bags, booked a hotel where he was, went to visit him. My sister was warning me over the phone that it was not good, that he was not lucid, that he was when he was lucid, he was being kind of mean and aggressive. He wasn't recognizing people. He was dying. The day that I showed up, he woke up as if from some kind of a fucking death sleep, and his lucidity came back. And I came to visit him on that day. That's the day I arrived to see him off into the great beyond. And he beat it. He came out of it. And the treatments worked. And the chemo and radiation destroyed his cancer. And he's beaten it. So it kind of happened. It kind of happened on its own accord, I guess. Maybe he fought on harder because you were there. That can be true. He woke up that morning and I didn't come see him till the afternoon. So it just was serendipity. He beat it. And, I sat with him that day and we reconciled, and I meant it and he meant it. And we're really trying. We're trying to build like a father-son relationship, one that we've really never had since I've been an adult. So, yeah, I'm like, I'm just trying to navigate it, man. It's a little strange for me, honestly. I feel like there's a little bit of role reversal going on with my father, and I don't mean it in a denigrating way, but I almost feel like this is the very, very beginning of my turn. You know how that, like, when your parents get older, they you kind of have to take care of them a little. My dad takes care of himself. He's not an invalid, but he needs me now. You know what I mean? He needs me in a way that's like he needs my advice. He needs my ear. You know. So yeah, I'm just trying to figure that out, man. I'm trying to be a good son, I guess, which is something I never really thought about myself as. But I mean, I know I'm a son. Yeah, that sucks, Johnny, and very easily could have been the same with me. The way that my sister was talking to me, I didn't think we were gonna make it, and like I said, we got down there as quick as we could, pretty much. I mean, we didn't, it took me a couple of days to decide whether or not I wanted to fucking do the performative, go down, tell him everything he's okay as he dies so that he doesn't have to die thinking I was hurt, but I'm still hurt. And once I came to the fucking decision that, like, that conundrum was worth less than his comfort, we were there, you know? And, from the way my sister was talking to me on the way up and everything, he was not gonna make it. He was not long for this world. And then it was just like that morning that I went to see him, it's like a light went back on in him. And he came back out of this, like, half coma, delirium kind of state that happens to people when they're dying. He beat it somehow, right?
Yeah. I think that kind of like gave me a little false hope when they first told me how sick my grandpa was. Like, maybe he'll have a turnaround. Like,
Yeah.
your dad did, but.
My dad was younger, had a whole different type of cancer.
Yeah.
Happened to be a very treatable cancer. Your granddad, the opposite, kind of,
Yeah.
way older and had
very late stage.
Yeah.
That he'd been fighting for a long time.
I mean, your grandpa kind of did that.
Yeah.
That 6 years that he got after his initial diagnosis was every one of those was not promised.
Yeah.
So that old man got to almost see 90.
Mm-hmm.
89 ripe old age, man. That's not bad. That is not a bad fucking way to go. Are you the only son? Yes, I am my parents' only son. I have nothing but sisters. I have to count them.
Even stepsisters.
Yeah, I have sisters and stepsisters. Well, I call my stepsisters my sisters. I was raised with them for half of my childhood. They're my sisters. But so I've got my one biological sister. I'm the eldest of the family. So I've got one biological sister, and I've got 1, 2, 3, 4 stepsisters. So 5 sisters. 2 of which I don't see very well. 3 of which I don't see very much, honestly. And the other 2, well, one of them I see very, very seldom, and one of them I see all the time. So it's just, kind of spread out. Which one got slapped by the burger? That's my biological sister. I had the greatest rivalry with her. She was in my life the longest. So she and I really, and we're a lot alike, or were a lot alike. I guess we still are.
Just in a different way.
In a different way, yeah. Yo, here from Cork, Ireland. You gotta visit Cork. I would love to, man. I would love to visit Ireland. I don't know exactly where it is, but I want to go to that coast that's in the beginning scenes of Far and Away, where the green grass meets the cliffs and the ocean just batters the cliffs. I want to sit right there and smoke a fat joint. I just have always wanted to do that, dude. I don't know where that is in Ireland. the beautiful rolling green land that just turns into a cliff, and at the bottom of it there's the ocean. But I gotta be there, man. I gotta go see it. I mean, that's the land of my people, you know. If you come to Sweden, I could show you around. That'd be cool. But like, I do want to come to Scandinavia. People think I'm crazy for this, but you know, I have to be picky because I don't know all. I don't have a lot of money. So if I do get to visit that, um, if I do get to visit Scandinavia, I kind of want to go to Finland. I want to go to Helsinki. I had a Finnish friend in high school, an exchange student named Päivi. I've always wanted to go look her up, and also just to see where she came from because she made a big impression on me when I was a kid, and I always thought it would be cool to, even if I couldn't look her up, that might be creepy, but just to go see her because I think about her a lot. It wasn't like a relationship kind of thing, like love in that way. I just really liked her as a friend. She was unlike anybody that I knew, and she was one of the only people that I trusted at that time to be completely honest about anything because she didn't have that like weird filter. Oh, she used to bring me salmiakki. She used to bring me she loved it. Her mom would send her care packages from Helsinki, and she one day gave me it. She was like, "Here, try salmiakki." And I was like, "What is this?" She said, "It's licorice." And I put it in my mouth and I was fucking gagged and she died laughing. And every time her mother would send a care package, she would give me a piece of salmiakki and I would eat it to make her laugh. So I've tried salmiakki. Not my thing, but I've had it, dude. She got me one time and I didn't eat it. I kept it, but it eventually got so gross that I had to throw it away. But I kept it as like a memento of her. It was a skull of salmiakki. It was like a black licorice skull. And one of the eyes you could put your finger through. It was like a hole, and the other eye was all salt. It was like they put a big cake of salt. So gross. I was like, oh my God. Are you interested in visiting England? Honestly, not on my fucking short list. I want to go to Ireland. I want to go to Scotland. I don't really care to go to England. I want to go to Finland. I want to go to Belgium, France, and Germany. I want to go to Spain and Portugal, and I want to go to Greece. And I want to go to God, fuck, I remember uh, uh, what Eastern European country is Prague in? I always fucking forget. Czech. So I want to go to Prague. Yeah, I want to go to the Czech Republic. So that's my short list. Those are the areas in Europe that I really, really, really want to visit. I don't really care to go to Italy all that much. I think it would be cool, but oh, thank you, baby doll. You're so sweet. What would I do without you? Thank you. Look at the size of this vitamin pill. This is a fish oil pill that I take every day. Look at the size of that fucking pill. Are they kidding? You know, this is not an easy one to go down, okay? Not for me. These vitamin pills are getting out of control. They're supposed to be oral, yeah. What are you saying? I'm eating a suppository? Fuck. Down. Oh my God. I have such a hard time with that pill. I get nervous. Down it went, though. We're good. Fish oil taken.
You just gotta believe.
Yeah, you just gotta believe. You can tell a difference in your joints, though? I don't know. It's
You
on
got recommended by your eye doctor.
It was my eye doctor that recommended I get on it. Because he saw signs of like age-related eye degeneration, and he said that you can fight that with fish oil.
Because you had a little cholesterol buildup in there or whatever.
The scary one for me is the next time I go to my doctor, I'm going to talk to them about hearing. I've been like too proud to do it, but I'm really, really tired of not hearing well. And it's clear that I'm impaired to a certain extent. I'm not deaf, but I think I have, if I had to guess, maybe 25% hearing loss all around, I would guess. The most common phrase that I say to my sweet wife is, huh? Which is, I don't want that anymore. She's not so quiet that she's unhearable. She's just soft-spoken, and I would like to hear what she's saying. But, you know, I've been very, like, I think men in general are kind of proud about having to wear a hearing aid. But if I need that, I want to get it sooner rather than later so that I can enjoy a decent hearing for longer in my life. You know, I'd rather wear a hearing aid if I need one, or get some kind of treatment for my ears if I need that now, than wait until I'm fucking 60 and I've got like 70% hearing loss, right? It's progressive too. I've noticed, especially in the last 3 or 4 years, that it's gotten worse. So I know that it's getting worse. And it's definitely something that's an existential threat to my career too, as it stands. If I can't hear, I can't react to TJ, I can't react to Scotty, I can't be on the show. You know, they'd have to get me a fucking translator or something. They'd have to get me an ASL guy to, you know, that doesn't work. So I have to try and save what's left. You know, and it's scary to me to start that process because I'm afraid of what I'm going to find out. But like I said, I'd rather know now and I'd rather get on top of it. Cochlear implants, I mean, I don't think I'm a candidate for that at all.
No,
that's like extreme deafness. Like congenital deafness, I think, is the one they treat that way usually. I'm just abused my ears in my young age and all the way through my 20s deaf.
Yeah, it's not like, Cochlear isn't like LASIK.
Yeah.
Or anyone can get it. It's very contentious in the deaf community. There's a lot of deaf people that are against it because it's curing the deafness.
Yeah. Huh? I have my earbuds on max but can't hear shit. You might want to go talk to your doctor about that. Are you Muslim? Day 236 of asking. Please answer. No. I don't think you've asked me 236 days in a row, but no, I am not a Muslim. Maybe you're a bad listener. No, I'm not. I'm actually a really good listener.
My dad actually says huh to me more than you do, which is weird because he's a hearing doctor, and I wonder if he's like in self-denial because he's the hearing doctor.
I don't fucking know. You sure your earbuds aren't messed up? I don't have earbuds. I don't wear them. I have big, giant studio monitor headphones, expensive ones. And in order to be comfortable, I have to turn them up so loud that I literally can't hear anything that happens. Amelia has to touch me to get my fucking attention because and that's the only way that I can hear things properly. When we watch TV, Amelia will watch it at about like 25 on the volume. I have to put it at like 50 or above, sometimes 60 to be comfortable. Amelia has told me it's like right on the edge of being uncomfortably loud for her. That's not good. You know, I'm 44. I'm not that old. I shouldn't be experiencing that kind of stuff. I haven't watched a movie without subtitles in I don't know how long because I need it.
Well, I like those too.
I like it, but I actually need it. I will miss words and shit if we don't have it on.
Like you struggle like with YouTube videos?
Yes. I don't watch a lot of vlogging like this because I have to turn my headphones up to hear a lot of people.
And the auto captions are low.
Auto captions are garbage. And so, like, when I'm with the guys, it's because they have high-end audio setups and stuff. And I can crank it up, and they come up at the same level. I can get them to a place where I can comfortably hear them.
Mm-hmm.
But, like, when I'm in Discord, some people have a condenser mic. I can hear them fine. Some people are on their phones. I can't hear a fucking word they're saying half the time. And it bothers me more than the average person because it's a struggle I have.
Mm-hmm.
I think I'm worried about it. And so when I don't hear people over and over, it bothers me to have them in the room and I'll yell at them. But it's really not their fault.
Speaking of audio, I don't think you set up your new stream deck thing.
I have not. I've been... Dude, one of my fucking people on Discord sent me this fucking zip file filled with audio drops from the show, from memes from the show, from things I'm into. Fucking great. I want to put a bunch of them on there, but it's like a daunting task. Once it's set up, it's the easiest thing in the world, but it is a pain in the ass to fucking get every little thing put together.
Let's see.
Balanced. On the right button. Then you got to pick a logo for it so that you can identify it visually. It just takes hours to get it fucking set up, and I've been putting it off because I'm a fucking bastard. Do you shave your poussey? No. My poussey is not all...
You have, like, the softest, finest hair down there. There's no point.
It's so true, dude. It's so weird because, like, people will be like, oh, pubes are, like, wiry. Dude, my pubes are, like, my head hair. Like, they're silky.
Softer than that.
They're silky.
They're softer than your head hair.
I have silky pubes. And there's not that much of them. I'm not a very hairy dude below the neck, so... I've never really... I have shaved, but I haven't ever had to. Like, my first girlfriend asked me to do it, and I did it, and then I did it for a while after that. Like, I would keep it up, but man, dude, you get razor burn. I got chemical burns one time on my balls because of that girl. She told me that she was grossed out because I had nut hair, and so I went and I got Nair and put it all over my balls and let it sit for like 45 minutes. And it took the hair off, and it also took the first two layers of my epididymis off with it. It was just chemical burns on my ball bag for that girl. For some silky hairs on my butt, on my taint and my balls. You know? And so I just don't bother with it because it, like, I think it's grosser to have a bunch of fucking, like, because I would get breakouts, man, like razor bumps, but not like little ones, big, like my whole, like, I would get real irritated sometimes and shit. It was just like, man, this ain't fucking worth it. This right here ain't fucking worth it.
Yeah, like if people looked at your legs, they'd question if you even have leg hair.
Yeah, I can show them. Look. You can see I have, like, I don't know if you guys can even see it. Right? That's my leg. There is hair on it, like I can pull it, but it's very, like, my whole, it's the same thing with my chest hair and everything else. My pit hair, it's all like this soft, downy fucking hair. I don't know. My eyelashes and eyebrows are the same way. Like, I've had people ask me, like, on the show, why'd you shave your eyebrows? I didn't. They're just blonde and downy. I don't know what to tell you. My beard is the weirdest thing about me because it's like, where did that come from on me? I don't have this anywhere else. You look like a guy who would give me a rare sword under a bridge. Dude, I would. I would. If I had a rare sword, I'd give it to you under a bridge, my dude. I'd let you have the rare sword. Why not? What am I gonna do with a rare sword living under a fucking bridge? There's nothing I can do with it. Say my name. You're damn right. Are you trying to get, like, advertisements? His name is like some shop. Are you trying to get me to, like, are you gonna cut this and advertise with it? Because if you want that, just ask me straight up and I'll give you a good one. I'll straight up give you a good one if that's what you want. But don't try to trick me into it. Dude, I'm a performer. I'll give you a good one. Is that what you want? Give me a thumbs up if that's what you were actually looking for, okay? And I'll give it to you. Please. All right. Listen to me. Listen to me good. When you're talking about urban art shops, you're talking about Urban Art Shop Almere, dude. I think that's how it's pronounced. You're talking about the best, most explosive urban art shop in the fucking world. There you go. How do you say it? Did I say it right? I want to give you a good cut. It's Dutch. Almere? Almere? You're gonna have to help me out, bud. I'm not Dutch. I'm fucking from California. You don't gotta trick me, man. I'll give you a cut. Do I buy art or art supplies? Yeah, I don't know. You're gonna have to go check out the website. Almeru. Okay. Urban Art Shop Almeru. The best Dutch fucking urban art shop on the planet. Take it from me. I'm from California. I know. There you go. Almeru. Look it up. Buy your urban art supplies there. There you go. See? Gave you a better cut, right? Than me just going, Urban Art Shop Almere. Right? Come on, man. You just gotta ask sometimes. There's bros out here. There's bros out here that are trying to help other bros. And sisters. And NBs. I'm one of those. Just ask me, bro. Just ask me. Does urban mean black people made the art? What I'm picturing is like art supplies, but like spray paints, Krylons of different colors, maybe like stuff for making those big kind of like stencils that people do where they paste things up on the wall, big pictures. That's what I'm picturing, but who the fuck knows, bro? Yeah? Okay, cool. So I was right. Nito, burrito, petito, conchito. I would ask you to shout out my channel, but a lot of subs have come. Yeah, go subscribe to Phoebes. She's got a couple of Paul's Ego deep cuts on there too. She made some videos about like cut up a little bit of a ideology. Made a couple videos over there. So go check her out. She's over there doing it. She's over there hustling. She's over there grinding. There you go. All right. Have a good one, man. Yeah. See you later, buddy. What a weird fucking interaction, bro. What an only on the internet, man. Only on the internet, right? All right, buddy.
What is it, Dirty D? Keep acting like you want something. I don't know what you want. You want a fish?
God damn, we getting old. I know, bro. Trust me, you ain't gonna tell me that. It's a different world, dude. I'm just experiencing it, okay?
Go get your ball.
Go get that ball, please. Finally, after days. He's ready.
Who are you gonna give it to?
What's up, Black Butternut Crunch? Black Butternut Crunch is back in the bunch. You want to hear about a weird interaction? No, I don't. Read Franz Kafka. I have read Metamorphosis, okay? I'm not a big Kafka proponent, but Metamorphosis is a pretty interesting read, okay? I would recommend it. It's not a super long read, but it's like an inch wide and a mile deep kind of book.
I like the things that are more Kafka-esque, like that one movie we watched where he was addicted to bug powder.
Yeah, like Cronenberg stuff.
Yeah.
Cronenberg and Kafka are like hand in hand. Yeah.
I don't like every Cronenberg movie though. Like some.
A lot of them are really good. I don't know if you've ever seen The Thing. I don't think we've ever watched.
We never
The
watched
Thing.
The Thing together. We watched the Fly.
We need to watch The Thing. That's probably Cronenberg's best.
That Crimes of the Future I was kind of iffy on.
I really liked it, but I'm a Cronenberg nut, so it took me 2 watches to like it, though. The first time I watched it,
I don't even think we finished it.
We didn't.
We watched it
well, I finished it on my own the first time because we just weren't into it, and I was like, "That's Cronenberg." Finished it, I was like, "Oh man, that was hard to watch and weird, and I don't know how I feel." And then like months later, a couple months later, it popped up. I was just doom scrolling on HBO Max, and there it was, and I was like, "Fuck it." Put it on, and I watched it, and I was like, "This is brilliant." Okay, I get it now. I just such a fucking repellent film. It wants you to look away.
Yeah.
And I felt like I did the first time. The second time, I just forced myself to watch it, and that's a whole different ball game for me. But I'm also kind of an apologist for Cronenberg. I like most of his stuff. You know what solidified it for me was that lady whose name I fucking can never remember.
One played by Kristen Stewart?
No. Although Kristen Stewart was really good in it as well. Creepy but good. But I'm talking about the lady that was his assistant.
Oh, yeah.
She's also in Dune 2. She played like that lady that seduced or tried to seduce Fade.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Really striking looking woman. I always forget her name. Somebody will put it in there. She's amazing in that movie. Her performance is like fucking beautiful. It's hard to watch, but it's beautiful. How much you weigh? I answered that question like 20 minutes ago. You can rewind and check it out later if you want. I'm not gonna like give you a weight check every 10 minutes, bro. How do you feel on A24 films? Huge fan. Even if I don't like them, I like them because I've never seen an A24 film that didn't inspire conversation and strong feelings. Leia Sadu, thank you. I think that's her name. That sounds right.
Is she like Middle Eastern, maybe?
I don't know.
Like with the last name.
Sadu is, it sounds like it's because it's D-O-U-X, so French.
Oh, yeah.
But that doesn't mean anything. France is a multinational, multicultural country, so. But yeah, the last name is French for sure, and her accent is French.
Yeah.
As far as her nationality, I'm not sure, or her racial identity or whatever. Do is soft, yeah, but it's a dead giveaway for French. There's no other country that has the OUX. You just don't see it in any other kind of name arrangement.
When you first said it, I thought like ended in a U. Or
Yeah,
something.
yeah. It sounds like that, right?
Yeah.
Sadu.
Yeah, if it ended in a U, I'd be a little bit more confident. But
Yeah.
if it ends in an X, that's pretty French.
Sadu. Throw me the Discord invite. Discord.gg/Paul. It doesn't need an invite. It's wide open. Come and join. Easy to find. Discord.gg/Paul.
You might have to make it invite only at some point, though.
Maybe.
We'll see.
Doubtful, though.
Yeah.
I think it's fine. It's called Salt Rackus. If you find Salt Rackus, you found it. Join, read the rules first, abide by the rules, and you will have a good time. Can I not donate? I don't monetize this channel because I've learned that monetizing channels makes them more open to scrutiny and censorship on YouTube. I also would, being honest with you, it would be nice to get tips here, but I don't need them. You guys are very generous with my show, my Patreon, and that pays my bills. I do these for fun.
So if you're not doing the Patreon, then that would be helpful. That is a recurring tip.
If you want to help me out, come watch our live show and drop a tip. Take a look at our Patreon, and if you think that's cool, join that.
You can even buy the gauntlets a la carte now.
You can.
If you hate
We do merch too. We've got shirts. We've got a DVD that's going to be on sale here pretty soon of one of our live shows. So what do you do on this channel? You're seeing it. I talk to my audience. You know, you guys, I always used to joke back in the day. I think it's kind of mean now, so maybe I won't say it anymore. But I used to say to people, Um, this is a reverse show. It's your job to entertain me. I don't mean it that way. Obviously, I don't want you to be bored, but that is true. I read my chat, I interact with my chat way more than your average streamer does. I let you guys, new here, subbed. Cool. Welcome. Yeah, no, yeah.
You don't come into these streams with an agenda usually.
Usually. Sometimes I do. Sometimes
Yeah.
I'll have something on my mind or on my heart and I need to get it out, you know, and I come here, I'm going to rant about this, right? Most of the time, though, I come here with no expectations and I let you guys kind of ask questions. That's usually the best way, like a Q&A kind of thing. And I'm really an open book kind of guy, and I've done a lot of interesting things in my life, and so I think that's what it is, you know. I'm kind of an old head, you know. I'm an older guy. I think people like listening to that. That's kind of what I get from it, you know, what I assume you guys get from it, I mean. Opinion on South Park. I used to watch it a long time ago, like when it was brand new in the late 90s. I watched it for a few years, probably 3 or 4 seasons, 5 maybe. And then it just kind of like stopped being funny. I don't hate on it. Every once in a while I'll see a meme from it and I'll go, that's pretty good. But I just can't watch the show anymore. I got burned out on it. But I'm also a guy, and I catch a lot of heat for this. I don't really like animation all that much in terms of like adult animation these days. You know, I'm a fan of animation, but I'm a guy that came from the era of, you know, early anime stuff that was really raw and edgy. Movies like Heavy Metal, right? And Wizards, Ralph Bakshi shit, right? Um, uh, Movies like The Secret of Nim, which is a very super dark fantasy that doesn't treat me like a child. And I feel like a lot of adult comedies are stuck in this loop of trying to be the Seinfeld show, but animated.
Yeah, and they're kind of edgy for the sake of being edgy.
Right. It's just that they're trying too hard.
Yeah.
But that's my opinion. You watch them and enjoy them. I just don't.
My dad was obsessed with South Park when it first came out.
A lot of people, everybody was. I mean, it was a great show. I mean, maybe it still is. I don't know. I don't watch it anymore.
I guess they made fun of Vosh on it, on like a Daily Wire ripoff of it.
Oh, did they? That's funny. I'm only about 5.5 years younger than you, so for the most part, I came up in that same era, and I like a lot of modern adult properties. Just a matter of taste. Absolutely, dude. Yeah. Like I used to look, dude. I say I used to a lot. I'm not saying I've changed, but I just don't want to have that argument with people. I used to find it more fun because I was probably in a kind of more argumentative, edgy place myself. But really, what you like is what you like. I just told you what I like and don't like, and if you don't like, if you disagree with that, that is cool, man. That's one of the great things about art.
Like, we disagree on some stuff.
Oh,
There's
God,
shows
yeah.
I like that you just kind of meh.
Yeah, I mean, there's shows that hit for you that don't hit for me. There's songs and stuff that hit for me and don't hit for you, and vice versa. You know, not different strokes, different folks, man. Variety is the spice of life. Everything is subjective, including your opinions on art, especially your opinions on art. So, you know, let's be chill about it. I don't mind being argumentative either. You know, I'm not saying obviously I haven't left that behind if you watch my show, or just go watch the last one of these. I love arguing. It's just I'm more judicious with when I allow myself to get that invested now, because I really don't care if you like fucking South Park or not. But maybe 6, 8, 10 months ago, I would have fucking had a blow up with you about it, and it'd be all negativity up in here, and that's fine, you know, but I don't know, that doesn't do me any good mentally, and probably not a lot of you either, so. Still, I really do think that you'd love the writing on Bojack. See, that's the, this is the problem I have with you guys. You adult animation people won't take me at my word that I don't like what you're selling. And so people just go like, I get that, Paul, but what about Bojack Horseman, dude? Just take me at my word that I don't like it, okay? I'm a grown-ass man. All right? Fair enough?
Yeah, it's like, Are you watching a bunch of romantic comedies?
No.
Other person?
Well, that's the thing is I'll tell you guys what I'm watching. Like, I was big on the 3-body problem for a while. If you came in here and were like, I picked up the first book, it wasn't for me, I'm not going to fucking, like, recommend you other properties like that, you know? I'm going to take you at your word. It's just that it doesn't get all that great. I don't care, man. I don't care. You're doing it right now. You're doing it right now, dude. You're doing it now. You're doing the thing. And you're one of my mods, and you're doing it.
You didn't watch Breaking Bad for 10 years out of spite.
Yeah.
You're just putting the timer on whatever show you like longer.
It's like, just take me at my fucking word, bro. Quit trying to convince me. Quit trying to equivocate. I don't care. I just told you I don't like that style of animation. I don't like that style of humor. It doesn't make me laugh. It doesn't interest me. You know, that's me. It's a waste of time to watch that stuff for me because it just bores me. I find it eye-rollingly self-indulgent. I find it eye-rollingly millennial to a fucking point of absolutely absurdity. I can't stand millennial humor. It's just my thing. I come from an edgier time, man. I'm a Gen Xer when it comes to humor. I got one foot in both fucking generations, and my fucking right foot, my dominant foot, is in Gen X, okay? I can't stand this self-indulgent, whiny millennial humor shit, and it just oozes out of the pores of every one of these fucking things.
I just wanted to poke you into a rant.
I know. They got it. They got it. Okay? I wasn't going to be mean about it, but now we're going to talk about why I don't like it, because now that's the topic, and that's cool. Okay? I don't like it because I feel like the humor is derivative. Most of it is derivative of Larry David's properties. So we're talking Seinfeld, we're talking Curb, right? That kind of millennial, what is the deal with that kind of humor? The absurdist kind of humor that's all self-indulgent and all whiny and stuff. I hate it, bro. It's such a mood killer for me. It's such a vibe killer for me. It's not funny. It's gross. It's just dumb. It's repetitive. It's like very meme focused in a way that just drives me nuts. I just don't like it. Okay? So take me at my word that Bojack Horseman is not for me. I actually get a fucking desire on the inside of me when people tell me to watch that show to scream in their faces that they're not 12. It's a dude with a horse head wandering around having problems, having millennial problems. No thanks. I'll pass. I've got books to read. I've got like probably a million movies that I would love that I haven't seen yet. All right? And probably a billion fucking books. All right? I'll never fucking catch up. I don't need Bojack Horseman. Okay? Enjoy it. Watch it. Stream it. Fucking live it. Quote it. I don't care, dude. If you love it, great. But now you know how I feel about it.
If you do want a show that we're watching, that Baby Reindeer is fucking crazy.
Talked about it earlier. Yeah, I started this show talking about it. It was fucking like an unexpected show, for sure. Very deep. Tough to watch.
I feel like Breaking Bad was almost tougher for you.
Sometimes.
Because that one cut more to your personal experience.
Yeah. Yeah, there were some rough patches in there, but very real, you know, when it just got real between him and his wife.
Yeah. Middle age problems.
As a guy that was, you know, the age he's supposed to be in that show or around it.
Yeah. Well, he's supposed to be 50, so.
I'm fucking 6 years from 50. I'm in the zone. I can just understand it. And I kind of went through that crisis a little earlier than he does in the show.
Mhm.
And I think it's because I didn't have children. I think if happenstance had made me fertile instead of infertile, and I'd have had children with my first wife, because believe you me, we tried, I would have been locked into that for another 5, 10 years yet. And I would never, you guys wouldn't even know who the fuck I am. There's no way. There's no way staying married to my ex-wife and doing this job would have ever been a thing. She had, and I'm not trying to shit on her, but she had no respect for this. She thought it was just bullshit, time wasting, garbage, a waste of my talent, a waste of my energy, all of that shit. She had no respect for it. She had no desire to help me or facilitate me in creating something like this. But that is not her fault. It is our fault, right, as two people, for not getting to know each other well enough and not knowing how to know each other well enough. We were broken and we loved each other and we tried and it didn't work, right? And that's one of the reasons it didn't work. I had a song in my heart that sounded dissonant to her, and vice versa, right? You know, and I'll be honest with you, that part of me is, I think, responsible for the most relationship problems and discord in my life. And it took me a long time to realize, fuck, that's fundamental though. I am a performer, I'm a talker, I need to be in front of people. I need to talk. I need people to hear me. I'm just that way. I care passionately. I do things that other people look at it and they think, wow, what a waste of time. I mean, there are probably people that would look at what I'm doing right now, see I'm not getting paid for it, and they're like, what are you doing? But this is how I am. And I'm not always like this. Sometimes I'm not feeling great. But when I am in my element, this is me. And this has clashed with every fucking person that I've ever been with, except my wife. She knows me. She understood this before she ever agreed to marry me. And she loves this about me and accepts this about me. And when I say this, I just mean how would you describe it?
I guess just like needing time to talk to others and needing time to like form your arguments and develop how you express your opinions and stuff. Like you need a sounding board that's not just
And
me.
you can't be that.
No.
You would drive you nuts if you were that. One person could never be that for me.
Mm-hmm.
I need the chaos of a big group of people that changes. I need to speak to that. It's part of me that I have not been able to shake since it became an option for me when I was fucking 8 years old. You know, getting on the CB radio and talking to a bunch of anonymous people that would change. You know, I talk about that like it's funny and it's trolling, but that was my soul like singing out to me like, this is what you're supposed to be doing. I didn't know it at that time. You're an agitator. You're supposed to be out in front of people. You're supposed to be cooking your arguments live. You're supposed to be doing this. And I didn't know. I was too young to know it at that time, but I pursued it my whole fucking life, if you think about it. Every opportunity that I got to walk through a door that would lead me closer to talking to people, I did it. And that tells me that there's something deep down inside of me that needs that. And if I tried to put all of that on you or any other one person, as I've done in the past, I become unlivable.
And you've finally, I think, gotten better at communicating like what you need with that too.
Mm-hmm.
I think probably before you had a hard time communicating. Like sometimes I just need X amount of time to talk to these people and not you.
It's not even that. It's not you.
Yeah.
It's hard to explain.
Yeah.
It's that you are not the chaos
Mm-hmm.
of public opinion.
Mm-hmm.
You are the opinion that I trust the most. You're my closest confidant. But I cannot expect you to shoulder the burden of my mouth and my mind.
Mm-hmm.
We spend time together. A day doesn't go by that you and I don't love on each other. But the truth of the matter is, I have to spend a good segment of a lot of those days managing what my body and mind have told me to do since I was little. And that coupled with learning how to talk about my feelings and stuff and just tell you, like, hey, I need to talk about this, but not right now.
Mm-hmm.
Or I just need to veg.
Mm-hmm.
I will say these things to you.
Yeah.
And what I'm saying to you is more specifically, right?
Mm-hmm.
My mind is chaotic right now and I need to focus.
Or you need to have more chaos to
Yes.
intertwine it with.
I need something that I need the chaos inside to be reflected outside. I need to go into a big contentious room.
Mm-hmm.
And I need to be raucous and I need to be funny.
Mm-hmm.
And I just need that performance.
Mm-hmm.
It takes the edge off of me. And you cannot do that. No one person could absorb that and be happy. Because it's chaotic and it's weird and I get angry and I get sad and I get frustrated, and all of that would be, even if you knew as an adult this is not pointed at you,
Mm-hmm.
you're going to absorb it after long enough.
Mm-hmm.
I've just seen it happen. I've done it to people is what I'm saying. I didn't know I was doing it, but I have driven people batty by trying to bring them into my world and trying to not distract myself and going like, I'm really going to focus on us. It's not that I don't focus on us. It's because I focus on us that I do things the way I do.
Mm-hmm.
Because if I were to just go like, I'm going to give all this energy that I have inside of me to my wife, you would hate me within a fucking month. Maybe not hate me, but you would be very unhappy with it. I just know. Or at least I think. Really curious, asked before, how do you find the perfect balance between performative and genuine? There is no such thing. So one of the things you'll realize if you talk to me is that I'm a person that sees the world in spectrums. I told you about this yesterday. I think this came up. And it's a very true thing about me. I don't see hard black and white anywhere I look in the world. I see a spectrum. What you're talking about here is a spectrum of performance, right? And I can't give you an answer because the answer is the sum total of all of my experience and training, and I can't give that to you in an anecdote, right? I've spent my whole life, I just got done telling you, and I mean that, my whole life performing. Okay, I did it when I was a little kid before I even knew I was doing it. I've always sought out agitation and conversation. I thrive in that chaotic environment because I was raised in it. I was raised in a raucous house filled with drunk union people, each one of them a bigger personality than the next. Raucous, loud, they loved life, they were boisterous, their hearts were filled with that special thing that blue-collar laborers have, that joie de vivre that a man or a woman has when they make money doing hard labor and they kick back afterwards. You can't, if you've never experienced that, you don't know. But that environment was like mother's milk to me. It informed everything about me, right? And I have done that passively, and I've done that professionally. Mm-hmm. I've done 10 years now and counting, over 10 years of paid show running and personality on a show, right? There's like maybe 10 people in the world that can say that. I'd make all of my money doing what I'm doing right here. Not here necessarily, not in this venue, but on my shows. So, this is just a truth about myself. If I don't have that, or if I'm in a mental place where I'm not seeking that, I'm bad off. Something inside of me is broken. Something up here is broken. I'm not well. If I don't have that sounding board, like Amelia said, I get lost. I get angry. I get angsty. I start to feel like I'm alone, even in the midst of people. It's awful. It's an awful feeling. And the only healthy way I've ever found to fight it is to listen to that thing that's in my heart that says, perform, talk, engage, agitate, make people think. It's a soothing thing to me. You know?
I mean, your soothing is a lot of chaos, like from my perspective, like how you can talk to people and play a game and play a movie at the same time a lot of time.
Oh yeah, I'll have 3 or 4 things going on at once. It doesn't matter to me. Yeah, my brain is very, and if you really think about it, think about a boy, 4 years old, footy pajamas, walking into a smoky living room filled with these people he loves. And each one is louder, laughing harder, telling a dirtier joke, telling a funnier anecdote than the next, right? Am I just not seeking that same kind of chaos now?
Yeah, you were just born into chaos and you seek it.
Right?
I was born in the chaos. I was molded by it.
You are but a tourist in the chaos. I was born in it. No, it's true though. And look, I'm not even shit talking that. It was good chaos. It formed me, it molded me, it gave me a purpose in life. I can't hate it. Were there parts of it that probably would have been better for a kid to not have to deal with? Probably, yeah. But you know what?
You can't undo it.
I will not undo it. Because I learned so much from those men and women. I learned how to be. This is how I make my way in life, guys. You understand that? You know how hard that is to get? They gave that to me, those people, those big, boisterous, blue-collar, unapologetic people. And my heart is full of that passion. And I can't, if I deny it, it kills me. I turn into a fucking shadow of myself. I shrink inward. That chaos consumes my thought process, and I have nothing for anybody anymore. And when I'm well, I'm going. Like I'm a fat guy. I'm not claiming I'm like a big active guy, but when I'm well, in the times of my life where I would call myself well, god damn, I move. I move. Things happen in my life. You know, I make things happen in my life. Things change for the positive, for the interesting. My life becomes a dynamic and fluid thing instead of a stagnant thing. And the engine that drives that for me in my personal life is this chaos that I'm talking about that exists up here. My anchor is my wife, and my sounding board is you. Ever consider going back to the Coolsville look? No. The Coolsville look was an attempt for me to individuate in an environment when I wasn't allowed to individuate in the way that I wanted to. I have, since I was a little boy, wanted to look like this. Maybe not exactly like this, but I've wanted to have long hair. I've wanted to have a beard. And every time in my life that I moved closer to that, somebody that I respected came to me and said, you can't do that, or please don't do that. So it would either be my job, hey, you know, you need to be clean cut. You can't have the big scraggly beard here, and you're gonna have to put a ponytail and blah, 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 right? Or my girlfriend, or significant other, or fiance at the time saying, you look like a hippie. You look like a dirty hippie, and it's gross, and you look so nice if you just clean up, right? I'll have that in my life now. I get to look how I want to look. So the Coolsville look was an attempt for me to kind of put a finger up at the people that said they wanted me clean cut. I was like, I'll show you fucking clean cut. I got a nice shaped head. How's this for fucking clean cut? So it's kind of a rebellious kind of thing that I did because I really wanted to individuate. I was tired of looking in the mirror and seeing this like sad, broken dude that wasn't pursuing his dreams and shit. And I wanted to look different in a way that people couldn't. Hey, you can shave your fucking head bald. That's considered clean cut. Fuck you. And everybody hated it. Oh my God, my ex-wife hated the bald head. But you know what? You said clean cut. Hated the beard too. Sorry. I'll trim it.
I
You know?
ain't going nowhere.
No. See, I started to I got to a point where I was like, man, I'm letting other people drive my expectations for how I look and all this. Why? But that was the process that led to my divorce, led to the giant fucking, I guess you'd call midlife crisis I had around 35, where it was just like I realized I was working for something I didn't want. I was working for a future I didn't care to be in. What the fuck is that? You know? I was living and dressing for other people. I was presenting myself in a way that was for other people and not for myself. I was lying to myself about my sexuality, about my marriage, about my job, about my happiness. And it all kind of came crashing fucking down on me. And I had to do something. And it was a crisis, man. I fucking had a giant crisis. And you guys came to know me at the hardest point in my life, right? But as a performer, you didn't know that. You thought I was just a funny, gregarious dude with a quick wit and a short temper and all that stuff. You didn't see what I was fucking going through, bro. My life was upside down, backwards, and inside out for like 2 years. And all you guys knew was Salty Paul, round as a ball, manatee shit, laughing with me, right? That was a hard point in my life, and it put everything in perspective, man. And yeah, it's been a fucking process. You guys have watched me over the course of longer than fucking 10 years. Some of you 15 years you've been watching me or more. You've seen, like the things that you perceive as like a change in me, that's growth. That's all that is. That's me learning. I started doing this as a young man. I was 27 the first time I sat down and did a YouTube thing. And there are people that have been watching me since then, and they've seen all of this. Explains why you were so angry all the time, doesn't it, though? Doesn't it? Maybe it doesn't explain it, because I'm still kind of an angry person. At least I have a tendency towards anger. I think that's more of a genetic thing than anything. I think it was passed down to me, kind of like genetically. But yeah, I mean, think about some of the stuff that happened back in the day, the salt arcs and the this and the that. But put a blanket of it that this dude that's going through this is fucking weirded out by his existence. He doesn't know where he is or what he's doing. He's trying desperately to just put food on the table for him and his girlfriend, and he wants desperately to be a good performer, but he doesn't know if he's doing it right. And he's got all this pressure at work. One of the dudes that you work with is really, really putting the pressure, putting the fucking screws to you all the time, and you're just fucking trying to be good. I had a meltdown one time, I'll tell you guys. There was some show that we did, and Ben was yapping at me, and whatever, it was, everybody was kind of, and TJ was too, and they were ragging on me about something. I can't even remember what it was, but it was after one of these big fights that I had about something. And after the show, they were like meeting, and they were like, you can't do this anymore, dude. This fucking bullshit is just, we can't have it, and blah, blah, blah. And TJ was like, yeah, man, you gotta fucking lighten up, and blah, blah, blah. And I started talking to them, and I was like, okay, guys, I will do that, but you guys gotta fucking lighten up. Oh, don't put it on us, man. You're fucking emotional outburst. Yeah, Paul, don't put that on us. Dude, I ended up crying. I'm not a crier. I'm not a dude. I do cry. I will cry from time to time, but dude, not in a business context, bro. I was so lost and so scared that they were about to fire me for something that I felt like I was out of control of, because I didn't get what the feedback they were giving me. So be a bitch then. So when you call me a fat, ugly, stupid motherfucker, just don't clap back. That's how it came to me. That's not really what they were saying. But I was just so frustrated and sad and scared. I just cried in front of them and I said, what do you want from me? I said, you guys tell me exactly what to do and I will do it. I love this fucking job. I love this show. I will do fucking anything you tell me to do. Okay, I'm trying real hard here. You know, and it was not a good look on my part. Not a good thing to cry in front of people that are employing you and shit. But it worked out. They didn't fire me. And I think it let them see that there was like a person behind all the memes, you know.
They saw that you were committed to it. If it affected
and
you
that I
that
was
deeply.
struggling
Yeah.
to try and do my best. And I needed help. If they wanted me to do different, I'll do it. But you have to tell me. I don't know what I'm doing. And man, it was ugly. It was rough, man. People didn't see that shit. DP treated you so dirty, Paul. No, they did not. No, they did not.
You were the underdog. You were
People
the
have this fucking
intern.
thought that when you come on a show, you just get ownership. That's not the way it works, guys. I was a contractor with DP. And I'll tell you what, once I became a full-time presence on the show, it took a while, but they worked out a pay package that was enough for me to pay for my life. It was not a lot of money, but it was enough for me to have an apartment. And that's all I needed to keep things going. An apartment with internet. Okay? So, I have no animosity for that show at all. That show was a huge opportunity for me, and I've said it now 3 shows in a row. I would have died for that show. I'd have took a bullet right in the head for that show if I thought it would have been epic. It's a little crazy to say, but I was like in like Flynn. So people say that DP did me dirty because they don't understand what it's like to be a performer. Nobody does this job. So I don't understand. I don't expect you to get it. I don't expect you to know that off the top of your head. But by the same token, it gets frustrating because I see people throwing dirt at something that I love. You know, I loved that show. I loved my time on that show, as tough as it was. And I really care, you know, for the people that gave me that opportunity. I still get to work with a couple of them. The other guys that I don't work with, no animosity, nothing but love, man. I hope they do well. I hope that show keeps kicking because I know there's people that love it. And, you know, a lot of people will say, oh, it's not DP without you guys. Well, you know what? Ben was part of DP too. And if there's a spark of DP on that show, it's him. You know? So good for that. And Billy is a fucking great performer. He's a funny fucking guy. One of the funniest dudes I've ever worked with. And one of the genuine, most, like, just sweetest dudes. You know? I have nothing but love for them. And nothing but love for that show, dude. Ben gave me an opportunity at a time in my life that I just described to you was the most fucking chaotic, scary, uncertain shit. And he took a chance on me that a lot of people would have just been like, fuck that guy, he's unstable. Because I was. Okay? But he, despite, you know, our personal failings or whatever, he gave me opportunity that I'll never, ever be able to repay. And so I try to be good by him when people are trying to shit on him. Because I don't do that. You know, that's not good business. And I have no hate in my heart for him. All the shit that we had while we were friends and coworkers, all that's under the bridge for me. And it really is. So what you're saying, Paul, is DB better? Yeah, I think that might be it. I know Billy is doing well after his health scare. I'm so bad at reaching out, man. I have Billy's number, unless he's changed it. And we haven't talked in a long time. I feel bad, man. I don't do Twitter anymore. I used to talk to Billy there more, like tweet him back and forth a little bit. I don't do that anymore. I'm just kind of like a recluse when it comes to communication, but I really do like the dude. I think he's super talented and funny. And T, could you go itch your butt while not leaning up against my chair and jiggling me all over the place? That'd be real nice.
Oh my goodness, D. He's always gotta be the center of attention.
He needs some oatmeal.
Yeah.
He needs an oatmeal spray down and maybe a little brush today.
Yeah.
It's time.
I got him some more shampoo at the store too.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
Oh, cool. I'll give him another. His little hindquarters are getting crusty again, so probably wouldn't hurt him to have a little bath. Since it's so easy. When Dad does it.
He's just a little anxious butt.
Not when Dad's in there with him. He's a whipped little puppy. Because he remembers. That's how we had to bathe back in the day. He remembers. He did it. I remember the wiping challenge. That is called the duty stain challenge, okay? And the duty stain challenge was a one and only time on YouTube thing. You'll never see a show do that ever again. That was gross and amazing and funny. You'll just never see it again.
You want to give it to Daddy or no?
Come here. Give me the bow. Give me the boo 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 boo.
He's very picky. He only likes playing fetch at a very certain temperature, I think, outside.
Yeah. TJ had brown, a lot of brown. Yeah. My wipe was clean, man. My wipe was not even discolored, and his was duty brown. He had a whole shit up in there. And look, dude, everybody has a shitty day. Everybody does, dude. I just recently have decided to switch to wet wipes because I have shitty days sometimes. Sometimes I'll have a duty that's not great, and you think you get it, but you don't get it, you know, and then you end up with a fucking streaker. You don't want that. You know, so I'm not even trying to front. I haven't done the bidet yet, but I'm all wet wipes now, man. I don't even care. I'll do wet wipes, and then if I need to, I'll give it a once over with some TP. That's how it's going to work for a while. We're going to see how that works.
You're digestively impaired.
I am, yeah. I have no gallbladder. Makes my poops kind of explosive sometimes. Hey, dude, fucking full disclosure, yo. I'm not trying to front. A reapy-doo-ah, you know?
You got it super young, too.
Yeah, I haven't had a gallbladder since my, like, mid-late 20s.
Yeah.
It's like 26 when I got it out, 27. Don't flush them wipes. I got flushable wipes, okay? They're made to be flushed, but they add a little soothing, lotiony, cooling, cleansing, refreshing feeling on my O-ring.
Yeah, people put so much blame on that too. Like, they're called fatbergs. People dumping their bacon fat down the sink are just as responsible as the wipe users.
Yeah, well, it's like that shit sticks to the wipes and makes the fatberg.
Yeah.
So stop dumping your bacon grease down the sink, idiot. I almost shit my pants on the road yesterday. I almost had to go in the woods. Dude, I will tell you, that is one of the things, if you don't have a gallbladder, you'll know what I'm talking about. And if you do, you don't. Your poops go from like, I'm going to poop sometime today, to like, I'm going to poop sometime in the next 5 minutes. And if I can't get to a toilet, I'm going to shit my pants. It's better now that my diet is more fiber and less fat and meat and shit. But yeah, it's still, you know, I still have a shitty day here and there. Paul, you have to go down the P. Diddy rabbit hole. It's really insane. Dude, I'm going to start looking into it when more info comes out. I want to see what's what. So there's a lot of speculation and shit. I'm going to wait until there's like an overview. Lol, poop. I know, right, mommy? Everybody loves poo. Poo is funny.
I feel like with the whole mommy drama, it was like maybe 4 people that just multiplied themselves and made a whole bitch fit about it.
And that whole fucking thing on the subreddit, it was my fault. Like, mommy even pointed it out to me in a very nice way. She was like, why did you just hard shill my OnlyFans? You know, I got other things going on. And I was like, oh my God, I'm fucking so sorry, mommy. I was just trying to help. I was hoping you'd get some simps. She was like, I did. And I was like, well, good then. At least it wasn't. But it was true. You know,
yeah, like she didn't beg you. It was your idea in the first place. She didn't come to you like, Paul, please.
No. Well, she made a joke, and I took her up on it. So it was technically her idea, but she didn't make me shill her OnlyFans. She
or
didn't
even have her on, period.
She wanted me to put her link tree, which doesn't even have her OnlyFans. I felt like a dick, dude. Lamau, it's fine for. I know it is because you're nice and you understand that it didn't come from a mean place, but it was kind of a bad look, you know, and it caused some drama because it made it look like that's what I was doing, right? That I was simping for an OnlyFans thought, and I brought her on or whatever. Like but it was I made it look that way, you know. So it's really like the drama is my fault. But yeah, the people that were perpetuating it are like maybe 4 or 5 people. The haters made it funnier to me. Oh, I'm glad you have a good perspective on things usually, and I'm glad you took it that way because it was a fun appearance. It was so memorable, you know. So I mean, you can't you can't be mad about that, you know. I'm gonna have to go back and watch the feet. Yeah, I mean, there's some pretty good foot shots in there. You got a straight on soul shot that she did that was pretty good. Got some side shots and some toe wiggles. Everything's in there.
Yeah, you gotta remember with Paul, he was deprived of me when he came up with that, so.
I didn't come up with it. She did.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like the whole process of it, like how you presented it.
That is true. You were out of town.
I didn't. I didn't have the moderating influence on you.
Yeah. Yeah. Amelia will step in sometimes and be like, "Hey, you need to X, Y, Z." I appreciate it because sometimes I just don't know. I get a little lost in the sauce, you know. She pulls me out sometimes and lets me know what I'm doing. I'm like, oh, okay. This coffee is so good. That felt uncomfortable. It was cringe. Okay, I mean that's cool. It was fucking epic cringe then. You know, if it was cringe, it was epic cringe.
It was Scotty that put the cherry on top.
Oh yeah, he took it from just a funny little segment because really, you want to know what my thought process was? It's a fetish thing that I know we have an audience of foot people. I know they're there, and we can do it on YouTube without getting blocked. It's not illegal to show your feet on YouTube. And that 100% was my thought process. I thought it would be fun to do a little fetish segment. I thought TJ was going to be there for it. He decided he wasn't going to be there for it. I didn't know that was going to happen because he's the fetish guy. So I thought he would like walk us through what a foot thing was, but I had to do it because he decided he would, you know, because like, you know, so I did my best, but a repeat dua, you know what I mean? A repeat dua. That's what I have to say about it.
TJ got his revenge yesterday.
His revenge for doing it again? He left me once, and then he got revenge for leaving me in the middle of a fetish segment on my own, drowning because Scotty's having a meltdown. Could have used a little TJ help. He's gone then, and then he punishes me by being gone all the last show. That's such a TJ moment. He is. He's a little rapscallion, that TJ. He's a skimp, okay? He's a little ragamuffin sometimes, that TJ. You ever miss your hometown? Sometimes, yeah. I mean, I live close to it now, so not right now. But if, you know, when I live far away from it, there are times where I'm like, damn, you know, I miss the kind of simplicity of that little farm town or whatever. But
it's not really a little farm town.
It isn't. That's the thing. It's like that. There's a saying I never understood when I was a kid, but people would say it all the time. You can never go home again. Have you heard that saying? Mm-hmm. People would just say that. You can never go home again. And I didn't know what they meant. What they meant was when you leave the place that you grew up and it changes and you come back, it's never the same. You can never go back to that memory. Mm-hmm. If you don't change along with the town, you can never go back to that. And it's very true. Very, very true. Frodo leaving the Shire. Right. It is. It's like he goes on his journey. The whole time he's wistful for the Shire. And when he gets back to it, finally, after all the trials and tribulations and travails, it's not the same for him anymore. It doesn't shine the same. It doesn't look the same. It doesn't smell the same or taste the same or feel the same. All the joy has been kind of leached out of it. It's something else. And that's basically the point, right? Even if you don't even look at Frodo, if you look at Bilbo's journey, right, from The Hobbit through the Lord of the Rings books, right? Bilbo is driven insane by his desire to go and do more adventure.
Mm-hmm.
And he huddled himself away as a hermit and a weirdo in his little town,
Mm-hmm.
wishing to God that those dwarves would just show up again and whisk him away.
Mm-hmm.
And he had the power to do that.
Mm-hmm.
He learned so much over the course of that adventure that he could have strapped on Sting, put his thieves ring in his pocket, grabbed his fucking cloak of invisibility, and gone out into the world and been a burglar. That's what he wanted. But he didn't do it, right?
Well, he was corrupted by the ring.
Well, that too, but that's the metaphor.
Yeah.
The metaphor is a man that had an experience one time, heard his soul singing to him, and then denied it, and it drove him. His focus on it became bad.
Yeah.
Right? That's the ring. So if you take away the
Yeah.
mythology, that's what the book is about.
Mm-hmm.
It's about old age creeping up on you and suddenly realizing that you're bitter about what you didn't do.
Mm-hmm.
And him passing the ring to Frodo, that's a signal. Young man, I'm giving you my experience, and I'm telling you that my life was full when I was an adventurer. And Frodo does something different with it, right? Frodo goes on the adventure, realizes it's just as hard as not being an adventurer, but he can't come back to the small idyllic life at the end. He has to go into the unknown. Now in the book, it's because the ring is punishing him. But like I said, you take the mythology off the top, it's about a man realizing his lot in life is not to sit at home. Ultimately. I always thought it was about ring and elves and shit. It is. This is what I talk about media literacy, right? When you read a book, authors have intent, and authorial intent, a lot of people will tell you doesn't matter, and I agree. It's the perception of the reader that matters, but part of being media literate and part of being literate in general, fully literate, is being able to read the subtext and extrapolate the author's intent. The subtext of The Lord of the Rings is actually kind of sad and wistful if you look at the life of John Ronald Reuel Tolkien, right? He's writing about himself. He was an old man when he wrote The Lord of the Rings and The Hobbit. He's talking about a wistful desire within himself to wander, but he knows he's too old to do it now. And he's too set in his ways. And he wrote a story about two men, one of them that experiences the same things that he does, and one of them that chose a different path. That's what the books are about. Okay?
And a little World War II sprinkled
There's
in.
World War II. I mean, it's his life. So, of course, that's a big point in his life.
Yeah.
So, of course, World War II is there. So is poverty. So is deprivation. So is fascism. So is racism. Right? Those things were part of John Ronald Reuel Tolkien's life. And he wrote them into a book. And he draped this wonderful fantasy universe over it, and he gave it to millions of us. He gave it to me when I was 8 years old. At 8 years old, I got lost in that fantasy. And at 8 years old, I never would have thought of the book the way I just talked about it. But it stayed with me my whole life. I've read it probably a dozen times. I'll probably read it in the next year or two. It's just one of those things that I go back to, and I've thought about it for the balance of my life. That's media literacy. That's understanding what the author was saying in the book, if anything, right? What was he saying? Lol, he was a teacher. I know. He was a teacher, and a very well-to-do teacher who was very set in his ways. You ever heard the term, those who can do, those who can't teach? It's a mean thing to denigrate teaching, but if you listen to Tolkien, he had the soul of an adventurer. He was an Oxford English teacher. An adventure of its own, sure, but not exactly a dragon quest.
Yeah, most professors aren't Indiana Jones, where they
Right.
can go take a break and adventure real quick.
Yeah, I can generally only parse metaphor and author's intent when it comes to humor. As for the sweeping commentaries made by allegory, I rarely grasp them on my own. Still, I enjoy these stories, if only at face value. Yeah, I'm not saying you can't. Dude, when I was 8, I loved The Lord of the Rings because it had orcs and it had goblins and it had magic swords and magic rings and wizards. Um, and there's nothing wrong with enjoying the surface level. I'm not trying to call you out. I'm saying part of what I think is lacking more and more is what I call media literacy, right? And that's not just being able to read and understand the basics of the story, but to plunge deeper into the subtext, to take a deeper dive into the book, to learn a little bit about the author and then say, oh, that makes sense. You know, oh, it makes sense why the eagles saved the day. That symbolism isn't lost on me now. Why is it that at the very end, when all hope looks like it's lost and it looks like fascism is about to extinguish the last light of democracy, the eagles show up? You know, it's dripping with subtext. And if you look a little deeper than a surface level read and you learn how to do it, you can think these things. You can see these things as it unfolds, right? As the book unfolds for you as you read it. Media literacy was bad before too. Frank Herbert wrote another book because people didn't get his first book. No, I know. I'm not saying that like it's like never been bad, but I just think it's worse now. And it makes no sense to me because people have more access to more information, more books, and more media now than ever. But it seems like that has been a negative. It's like a glut of choice kind of thing, maybe, or just kind of a sea change in what people expect and what people think. Um, it maybe has an element of like the fascination of our technology draws us away from those deeper examinations, draws us away from a love of reading and a mastery of it. You know, I think it's probably all those things, right? If we're honest, and maybe a few others that I'm, just not thinking of. Education, yeah, good one. Underfunded education. They kind of like sad, inexorable graduation of functional illiterates into society. People that can sound out a book but can't tell you anything about it. Um, I think it's something like 26% of kids that graduate from high school, it might even be more, are what they call functional illiterates. You know how stunted that makes you in life? You can't avail yourselves of the knowledge of the people that came before you. You can't learn from your history. Not really. You can't assimilate it properly. You have to go to somebody else and see it through their filter. You can't hear it from the source. You know, there's so many downsides to not being media literate. And it stunts you. It stunts you socially. It stunts you politically because it makes you unaware of recent and ancient history. I mean, like books avail you of so much knowledge of social systems and social movements. I mean, these books are just jam packed with commentary. I mean, oftentimes authors are incredibly political people and they write their politics and they write their lessons of their politics into these great, sweeping, expansive works. And if all you can do is sound it out, you can't summarize in your own words and you can't infer authorial intent and subtext, you're missing a huge chunk of that book, you know? And you're denying yourself a perspective that would maybe even be calming to you when you see how history repeats. You know, it makes what's happening now not so scary when you realize that it's happened before, that these kinds of political upheavals are cyclical. You know, but a lot of people are just denied that knowledge by a failed educational system and an inability to avail themselves of knowledge through reading. Ignorance is bliss, absolutely, and misery loves company. Both of those little adages apply here. There's a kind of rank anti-intellectualism that's popped up, which, if you would ask me 25 years ago, I would have said it's going to go the other way. People having access to the internet and basically every book ever written, every movie ever made, every song ever sung, that fucking knowledge should have created like a new renaissance in people. But it seems like, at least in the short term, it's going the other direction. There's like this kind of anti-intellectual sweep on the world. Religion is starting to come to the forefront again. You know, this ancient kind of scam is kind of coming back into people's fucking thoughts, and people are getting sucked into that again. Just when it looked like its grip was loosening, it's tightening up again. Um, yeah, I say again because like the early 2000s saw a sharp decline in religiosity and a sharp increase in people that would describe themselves as non-religious. And now those numbers are heading the other way again. Holy shit, are you ever going to answer questions or pontificate? I agree with everything you're saying, but dude, let's have a conversation. Okay? Go ahead, buddy. The eye of Sauron is upon you. You've been noticed, so now I am talking with you. What do you got to say? What questions do you need answered? And, you know, when the eye of Sauron is upon you, you know your next post determines your fate. So I would make it cogent and interesting and direct. And you got about 25, 30 seconds. And then I'm going to move on. I'm going to give you time to type it out and do a spell check. And then we're just going to ban you. If you don't say anything, we're going to ban you. And if you don't have a cogent question or a conversational topic, we're going to ban you. All right, somebody kind of scroll back, one of my mods scroll back and do a dunk on this gentleman for me, please. He's a time waster. Got nothing to add. What do you think the overall religiosity window is at? I really don't know. Thank you, Johnny. I really honestly don't know. I was right into the Four Horsemen at the time. It gave me some form of mind power over the structure at the time. I have no fucking clue what you're talking about, bro. Oh, you're talking about like the Four Horsemen, the atheists. You're talking about Daniel Dennett and those other three nobodies. Isn't it going better in Europe? Not from what I can tell, but I'm not a European, so I would defer to them. It's okay. Hey, princess, it's cool. I understand the impetus to kind of like, especially because like YouTube and social media in general kind of make that kind of empty criticism possible. It's like being able to boo a TV show, you know, if you think about it. It's like back in my day, we used to have to watch this thing called the TV, you know. But like you'd have a TV show on, right? And if I booed in my living room, Seinfeld couldn't hear me. But it's like now you have the chance to boo. But what you don't expect is for that person to go like, okay, you don't like it. What do you want to talk about? You know, I have no animosity, but I just don't like my time wasted and your time wasted with stuff like that. So, you know, I'm always willing to engage, bro. I don't run away from questions. I don't duck people. You know, if you got a problem with me, I'm willing to fucking talk it out. I got no problem with that. But this is kind of like just like, oh, I hate you because you're wrong. Oh yeah, why? Because you're wrong. Sorry. You know, you're banned. You got nothing for me. Wasting my time. How do you reply to a specific person? A specific person types the comment, and so I reply to that, just like I did to you right there. Sup, y'all? Paul, you're looking at the newest Divine Tomatino tier patron. My dude. My guy. Welcome. Awesome, dude. Yeah, you got a fucking huge meal in front of you. Just take a look at that Patreon. It goes on and on and on. Every month we put up a master post of the stuff that's come out that month. That'll help. Um, but yeah, man, you got to do. Otherwise, you just got a long fucking list of things. Use the tags as well. We tag things different, like show, patrons only, blah 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 blah. You can hit those tags, and it'll kind of make it easier to find amongst the posts. Yeah, just enjoy, man. There's a lot of shit there. Like probably more shit than you could watch in a year if you dedicated yourself to it. Tomate. A signore tomate. All right, Spino, we're not going to do your religious argument. And please don't argue with each other in the chat. It's really fucking like a huge speed bump for the show. Realize that like this whole show is about you interacting with me. If you want to argue with somebody in the chat and it takes longer than like maybe one comment, I would recommend that you DM that person or move it to another fucking venue, because when I um, go to read the chat, I'm expecting it to be something that's on topic or a question for me or an anecdote that I can react to. And when I see it's a conversation between two people, this is not the venue to have an argument, okay? Unless it's with me. Sorry, I have main character syndrome on my own stream that, I will enforce. Um, Donnie, you're about to get fucking clipped, bro. I'm literally just now talking about how you shouldn't be arguing with people and you're adding other people in my chat. So you and Ripley are about to be on the block. One more. Order 66 on this shit to any mods that are within hearing radius. Any specters that are on duty today, order 66 on any side conversations or any kind of drivel, unreadable nonsense or spam. You guys want to have a conversation, I'm here to do that. But if all you have is a banal, time-wasting anecdote, you're going to be banned. Not just the ats. I want you to kind of like order 66, like Mr. Sloth up there probably needs a timeout at the very least. I don't know what the Big Bang Theory has anything to do with what we're saying, but that's just kind of... Let's keep it on topic. And if you want to change topics, let's make it a fucking question that I can read. I love that word, banal. It's a great word. It's another thing, is like your vocabulary suffers when you're kind of functionally illiterate. When you don't read books, you never really get the chance to learn new vocabulary words, and your language becomes very kind of stilted and stuck at like a 5th or 6th grade level. And it can be really hard to talk to a grown-ass man that really communicates at like an 8th grade level max. Just got here. What's the topic? We're just talking about like media literacy, religion. It's kind of all over the place right now. You can jump in. Banal and pedantic are some of my favorite words that almost synonymous. Yeah. Do you believe in Jesus? Yeah, no hate. What do you mean? So do I believe in a historical figure named Jesus, or do I believe that Jesus is the Son of God? Those are two different things, right? Do I believe in Jesus's religion? No. Do I believe that there might have been a historical figure named Jesus that people, in some cases, if you look at the Gospels, and they're not contemporary with Jesus. So do I think that there might have been a religious kind of figure named Jesus that people 80, 90, sometimes over 100 years ago wrote some Gospels about and kind of fit into a messianic prophecy? Sure. Do I think that Jesus was the Son of God? No. Do I think that God exists? No, I don't. Do you think the Shroud of Turin was legit? It's been proven to be not legit. They allowed a scientific examination of the Shroud of Turin, including taking a clipping and a microscopy analysis and a mass spectrometer analysis, and they found that the linen used was in no way contemporary with Jesus. It was a medieval linen, which makes no sense. So the Shroud of Turin is actually a fake. It's actually one of these fake religious relics like the Pinky of Christ, right? How do you believe that the earth was created and humans were made or formed? Okay, so the earth, as I understand it, was created in the post Big Bang environment. Matter started to accrete due to gravity. That means come together. That's the principle of gravity, is that matter attracts matter of mass, right? So all of this kind of debris and chemicals started to accrete, and that accreted into what became a planet around a young star that we know as our sun. And over the course of billions and billions of years, that planet became covered in water, went through a lot of changes. It was a volcanic planet with a sulfur atmosphere for a long time, had an atmosphere of like methane for a long period of its history. These are all, of course, before life, right? And then eventually the climate stabilized into what we would recognize as a life-bearing planet. You had dry land, you had a stable salty ocean, you had a cycle of evaporation from that ocean, which dropped water onto the land. All of these were the unconscious building blocks of life, and the beginning of the answer to the second part of your question. The second part of your question was, how do you believe that humans were formed? The best of our understanding is that life started as a simple chemical process that was driven by the abundancy of both oxygen, nitrogen, and H2O and the combinations of those elements. It started as a simple chemical process that eventually, through a long process of microevolution and macroevolution, became the first single-celled organism. That single-celled organism developed the ability to copy itself, and there we have the beginning of what we call life on this planet. The first life that emerged on this planet that we know of was plant life. It was a very, very protoplankton-like creature that fed on the rays of the sun, was photosynthetic, or ate via the sun, right? Processed the sun's energy into food, and it blanketed the oceans of this planet, and led to the first colonization of life onto dry land. So that plankton and algae that existed in the early days of life crept onto land and became moss, and then it became little grasses, and then it became trees, and all the abundance of plant life that we see, right? And at some point, one of those organisms developed a level of complexity, and it became much more than a single-celled organism acting as a mass. It became a multicellular organism, a true organism with organs, right? And they began feeding on one another, right? That whole competitive thing that you see in nature even to this day, the cheetah chasing down the zebra, right? Yeah, I left out fungi because I'm trying to move it along, right? There's a whole fucking tree of life that you can go look at that'll answer this question. I'm not a biologist. I'm doing the best with what I know, right? And I'm trying to move it along for you in a way that makes sense, But yes, fungus is in there, all of this, right? And those organisms, over billions of years, an unfathomable amount of time, would have mutations, just like you see in nature, right? Sometimes an animal is born with an eye that's bigger than the other, or in a very rare circumstances, those mutations in these early animals were beneficial and allowed that animal to pass its genes along in a way that made its offspring able to outcompete the other animals. And so you take billions of years, if you try and wrap your head around that amount of time, the slow changes become the massive abundance that we see around us, right? Richard Dawkins, for all his faults, has a great analogy about this. Mountain probable, right? You look at all of the life on Earth, you're standing at the bottom of Mountain probable, and you're saying, how did we get from the bottom of this to the top? It's insane. But if you study life, if you look at its history, if you look at its interrelationships, that's akin to, in the analogy, walking around the back of Mountain Probable and finding a path that winds its way very slowly and inexorably to the top of Mountain Probable. That is evolution. And so that's the best way I can answer the dual question. What do you think? How do you think the earth was created? And how do you think human beings were created? I don't think either one was created. I think they came about by natural processes, and we can observe those processes to this day. Scientists are uniformly in agreement on those processes, and I trust them because science is a system based on testable repeatability, right? Science wants to be wrong. Religion never wants to be incorrect. Science wants to be corrected. And so, as a system for parsing reality, I find science to be far more interesting and far more useful than religion. I always wondered if Jesus said, God, why hast thou forsaken me? The guy was genuinely surprised God wasn't saving him from crucifixion, like he may have convinced himself of his own BS. Yeah, I mean, well, like I was around when Jesus Christ had his moment of doubt and pain. That's the whole idea. Jesus, even Jesus, according to the doctrine, most perfect human being, a truly God in human form, even he was so connected to humanity that in the end he questioned God. It's to show you that you are okay to question God. For even Jesus, when pushed to his limits, asked God why he had been forsaken. It's an object lesson in Christianity, okay? I don't believe it, but that's the truth, okay? You can make arguments against Christianity, but sometimes the meaning is really not nefarious and pretty easy to come to. Where there are no god women, there just aren't in modern monotheistic belief systems. And in fact, Catholicism comes very close to a woman god. Catholics treat Mother Mary as one of the patron saints, the patron saint of the church, and she's worshipped and prayed to. And so they're very close. But if you look at the history of religious movements, female gods were actually very popular for most of human history. Very ubiquitous. He asked a question, what's your job? I'm a podcaster. For about 15 years or so, I've made my living here on the internet. I don't make money here. I do this for fun. But I have a podcast called Deep Fat Fried that you can watch. It's a clip channel called Onion Nuggets. That'll give you a better look at kind of what we do, because most of how we make money is our shows are live and then they go dark and they are uploaded to Patreon. There are some great messages in Christ, yes. Like I said earlier, I always tell Christians, you're not going to convince me by telling me I'm going to hell. If you want to convince me of Christ's divinity, let me see him in you. Show me Christ. Be Christ-like as you're called to as a Christian. And that's the best argument you can make for me. I'm not afraid of your hell. I'm not afraid of your eternal punishment, and I'm not convinced by your constant invocation of it. What I would be convinced by is if I saw you give your life over to poverty, if I saw you give up all of your material wealth and give it to the poor, if I saw you live a life of servitude, if I saw you out amongst the sinners instead of preaching down at them from the pulpit, walking among them. That's the argument for Christ. So show me. Be Christ. Be Christ-like as you're called to as a Christian. That's the argument that I'll listen to. Back to the books and media literacy. What genre of books are your favorite, and what books are your favorite to read whenever you feel like reading? I'm all over the place. Like I told you, I love fantasy, I love sci-fi, I love horror, I love autobiographies, I love biographies, I love fiction, nonfiction, historical fiction, historical nonfiction. I'm all over the place, man. I really am. I love philosophy, I love politics. I read books that are all over the map. I really couldn't tell you that I have a favorite. If you put a gun to my head, I'd probably say like science fiction. Science fiction slash fantasy. I think that they are one and the same genre oftentimes. But I would say that if you really force me to choose, I'd say that. Do you support Palestine? I do. I support Palestine from the river to the sea. Palestine should be free. I support a one-state solution in which your country and Israel are joined, and one constitution and one coalition government democratically covers all of you, and that every Palestinian has the same rights as every Jew, and that there are no two states anymore. That is what I support. And I support the immediate cessation of hostilities against Palestine and an immediate stop to the genocide going on there. If I could stop it with a button, I would have done it months ago. What is your opinion on Thomas Paine? I'm not going to lie to you, I'm not really well read. I know he was an early colonial writer, or one that was cited by early colonial writers. I know that he wrote on natural law. I don't remember much of Thomas Paine, and I'm not going to pretend I do. Most Israelis will leave, just like 70% have dual citizenship to other places. Okay. And bring those who committed atrocities to justice? Yes, of course. My heart is with the people of this planet, and they deserve justice in all its forms. Okay, I'm new to this. I'll pipe down. You don't have to pipe down, man. I didn't mean it like that. Damn, that bird was loud as fuck. That was actually a bee. Bzzz. I just got buzzed by a bee. Oh. Oh, man. That stretching feels great. Can I sub? You can. Go ahead, USA government. Pizza for lunch. Yay. I don't know what I'm going to have for dinner or lunch today. I haven't decided. I'm not even hungry, man. I can't even think about eating right now. Maybe I'll have a protein shake this morning. I haven't had that in like a week. Maybe I'll do up a protein shake, or I'll ask Amelia to do it for me. She makes them better anyway. I had to come in, just say your username is 10 out of 10. Thanks. Stick around. It's a chill place. We just talk. You ever get Amelia to offer massages or walk on your back? She does give me massages. I don't do the walk on the back thing. That's too intense. My back is fucked. Like, you could, hurt me pretty bad standing on it. Can't really be pushed on and manipulated like most people. Although, the flexibility that I've gained doing yoga has really helped. Yoga and just general fucking calisthenic stretching has really helped my back. I know you mentioned it a lot, but is there a link to your Discord somewhere? I need to put it in my description. It's not there now. It's really easy, bro. Discord.gg/Paul. No invite needed. The name of the server is Salt Rackus. Please come and please enjoy. It's like this guy's trying to rip off this channel called Ideology. Oh yeah, I know that guy. That Paul Zigo character. Yeah. He's a real goof. Where are you from? I am from California in the United States. Where are you from, sir? Or ma'am? I'm sorry, I can't tell. I want to know something. Okay? I want to tell something. Was Leto the second right? Yes, ultimately he was right. I am from Jordan. Cool. Nice to meet you, friend. How can I help you today? Do you have any questions for me? I wish that I spoke your language so that it would be easier for us to communicate. I know sometimes English can be hard. This layout is confusing as fuck. Oh, on the Discord? I'm sorry. That's kind of how Discord is. You'll figure it out. How old are you? I'm 44 years old. I turned 44 April 1st this year. I was born on April Fool's Day, 1980. How old are you? Are you still doing the Warhammer thing? Gotten into painting at all? No, I kind of went a different way. I got into watches. I'm 12. Oof. Mods? Sorry, Alyssa, but this is an adult stream. No hate, but you gotta go. Mr. Paul, what is your opinion on capping over smoking? Are you talking about vaping? I don't care. How do you feel about how Mao dealt with landlords? Is such a thing justified in your mind? Yes, based. Housing should not be commoditized. Housing should be a human right in a modern country. And the fact that there are people that live their lives purchasing property and then renting it at exorbitant sums to people, and keeping all the power over the property and never allowing somebody, that's just bullshit. So absolutely, Mao was based on fucking landlords. Absolutely based. And that's the only way you can deal with them too, because they think that they are entitled to own everything and charge you an exorbitant fee to live on it. And they won't learn until they have it taken from them. And it'll happen eventually. All these motherfuckers will learn. But it's gonna be an ugly fucking lesson. Do you support Nazi? No, sir. No, I'm an anti-racist and an anti-fascist. "36, cool. You're one of the olders amongst me." Not a communist, but some of the stories from power moves from the communist dictators are so cool. I know. The aesthetic can be cool, and some of the things they did were very based, but communism is an ugly thing to justify historically. That's why I don't call myself a communist or a socialist, really. I think it comes with a stigma, and I don't necessarily agree with either prescription. I think that there are ideas inherent in communism and socialism that are worth looking at, maybe implementing, but I don't think they're the end-all be-all. I think that we can have a better society than is imagined in those types of things. So I don't call myself those things. Man keeps winning me over each sentence. Sorry. I hate to be so based. Communism is awful, but you know. Right. but you know.
I think it's just how culty a revolutionary ideology like that is.
I mean, mine is too, though. I have a revolutionary ideology, and I can see it be described as cultish. You know, I very much do not respect people who are not doing everything they can for the workers and the indigent. You know, I'm very fucking hard line on that.
I just mean like the castes that were drawn in communism.
Yeah, true. Ain't nothing wrong with a nice cult. I don't know. I kind of feel the same way. People are looking for meaning, and I think cults can kind of be harmless, or at the very least, neutral things for people to involve themselves in. The problem is that the power structure of cults is so fucking like primed for abuse, and so many of them carry it to an abusive and exploitative place with the members. People that are just communing and have some wacky beliefs, and you can come and go as you please. I kind of don't feel the same way about those folks. I'm a very staunch defender of people walking their own path in life because I have to do it. I wouldn't deny it to another person. I don't believe that shit. But hey, if that gives you meaning and shit, and you want to go live with a bunch of people, hey, go for it. It's just the exploitative nature of those cult leaders kind of putting edicts on people, their sexual exploitation, financial,
separating them from their family and
yeah,
friends.
financial exploitation, social coercion. Those sorts of things are not present in every cult, but in a lot of them they are.
It's a little pill bug.
Yeah. Where's he at?
Right there by
Oh
the
yeah,
creek.
little pillar. A little arthropod running around out here.
Mm-hmm.
What are you doing? You came up out of the ocean, bud. Your ancestors were big, giant trilobites the size of fucking hubcaps, buddy. And they lived underwater. And now look at you. Now look at how you're doing. What a little trooper. Eat him and gain his power. No, dude, I love little bugs, man.
He's just minding his own little business.
Yeah, he's running around my cigarette ashes down there, seeing if there's anything to eat. There's not. Was Kurt Cobain a twink? No.
He was too scraggly.
Too masculine. I mean, he had a little bit. He would wear like eyeliner, and
yeah.
The way he moved sometimes was a little effeminate, but no, he presented pretty fucking mask. How old are you? 44. A lot of new people. I don't mind answering. I'm 44. Best city you've lived in California if money was no object? Probably San Diego, honestly. San Diego is like one of the most prime cities. It's just a beautiful place. The weather is beautiful. The suburbs are all beautiful. You got the ocean, you got the harbor, you got a lot of stuff, right? But it's just so expensive. What'd you do to survive in the event of a complete governmental collapse? Well, I'm in California, so I'd probably be okay. A complete governmental collapse that kind of affected the United States would affect California the least. We have natural fucking borders that are very easy to guard. Mountain passes are very easy to close off to the outside world. And we have an economy that's self-sufficient. We grow more food than we can eat. We produce more things than we can use. So the truth of the matter is a kind of like national government insolvency. It would be bad here in California, but goddamn, it would be nowhere near what it would be elsewhere. California can kind of go along. We have more natural resources and a more abundance of that than any other state in the nation. We're just primed to be okay, to have a soft landing out of like a national governmental collapse. No other state can say that. Well, maybe Alaska. Alaska, maybe Hawaii, but Hawaii is so dependent on us, on shipments. Hawaii falls. Alaska probably falls because they are also dependent on shipments. Not a lot of farming up there. Not a lot of ranching. Just a lot of ice. So yeah, California just thrums on. There might be some states out west that join, you know. I could see like a governmental collapse happening in Oregon, Washington, maybe Alaska, maybe Hawaii, saying, "Hey, we're with you, Cali." And I could see Cali very easily keeping things moving for those states in a way that
What
kind of.
about Mexico? What if California rejoined Mexico?
I could see that. I mean, like honestly, it makes sense. You know, the point is that California has options that other states don't. A governmental collapse will destroy most other states. Texas might be able to hum along for a while. A lot of farming and industry in Texas, and a lot of, just a big kind of presence there. But California's got more military power, more state guard power. Our borders are way more easy to defend. We're bordered by the ocean on one end and a huge mountain range on the other.
There's just a little bit on Mexico.
Yeah, but I mean, those, like every other state's wide open.
Yeah.
Just walk on in. It's going to be fucked. But California will pull out. I don't know if I'll survive that, but I don't really fear a governmental collapse for that reason, not on a national level.
Well,
How useful are the people in Cali, though? I talk about this all the time. Cali is a state of hustlers. I don't want to get the whole rant going again, but people bounce off this state all the time. They come here because they want what California provides, but they're not willing to do the work. So you have to be a hustler to be here. That's why I say California will be fine. Are there some lazy motherfuckers and some generational wealth motherfuckers that'll be useless here in California in the event of a collapse and a crisis and a calamity? Yes. But is by and large California a state of hustlers, entrepreneurs, workers, believers, marchers, doers? Yeah, you have to be to live here. If you don't have those things as part of your heart and your soul, you bounce off this motherfucker. Okay, it's like oil and water. You come here, you expect a certain thing. California gives you nothing, and you end up going, fuck this, and you head back to Kentucky. All right, this happens all the time. But as you leave, you will pass by about 5 fucking people who are coming to try. That's California.
Need anything else, baby?
What was that?
You need anything else?
I was actually thinking, if you don't mind, could you do me up a shake?
Yeah, I can do that.
I would love that. Thank you so much, honey. Fish and Game in Cali has to gun fight the cartel with AKs. Huh? Wouldn't Cali be a prime target for foreign invasion? Sure, yeah, but here's the thing. California has the largest freestanding, so there are more fighter jets in California than any other state. There are more tanks in California than any other state. The military buildup in California is only matched and exceeded in a few areas by Texas. So foreign countries would have a fight on their hands. You have a good woman, Paul? I know. I have a partner, is what I have. No calling. I couldn't read that. Maybe it was bad. It's nice if you don't have money. Huh? California National Guard is absolutely beefed. Well, that's what I'm saying. I mean, we have more, like I said, there are more F-16s 100 miles from me. Like, not even 100 miles, like 40 minutes from me in Lemoore than anywhere in the country combined. We have the largest Air Force in the world, basically, sitting in this state. We have a huge Coast Guard and a huge naval presence all up and down the coast. California is a huge strategic hub. So the military here is just unreal and unbelievable. The tech industry ruined Cali. A lot of people say that. Not a lot of people live it here, though. California is just fine. The East Coast has no union. The East Coast is just wide open. It's strategically harder to defend. I mean, Manhattan is just a nightmare. Think about Manhattan, open on all sides to the water. The military bases nearby. It would be a fucking war zone, bro. California just ain't like that, man. California is the West Coast arm of the American military on its own, okay? There are way more people on the East Coast. Yeah, that makes it a problem. You see, all of this stuff feeds, right? More people, more mouths to feed, more condensed humanity to deal with, more chaos in the event of a governmental shift or collapse or failure, right? California, a lot of people here, huge state though. You know, way less people out west in comparison, population density wise. The state is huge, wide open. We can take immigrants, we can take migrants, we got room, we got food. We grow, like I said, we grow food that's eaten all over the world. We grow more food than we can eat every day. California produces food for the world every day. If we have to lock it down and use that food for ourselves, we could triple our fucking size in terms of population. It probably would happen. A lot of refugees are going to come to California in the event of a collapse or a civil war. I'm not from Cali, just saying what I know to be true. I don't know what you said there, bud. Nah, Canada, why would you move to the desert? What are you talking about? California has deserts, valleys, high mountain peaks, beautiful coastline, like not jungle, but rainforest, deciduous forest, coniferous forest, every kind of biome you can think of, save maybe one or two. Swamps, if you like that, lowlands, bogs, foothills, giant majestic mountain ranges. The highest peak on the west coast is right here in California, Mount Shasta. Huge, beautiful, majestic. What are you talking about? Why would you move to the desert? You move to California because you can have the desert and not live in it. How's cost of living in Cali now? After I left Nevada years, it went to, yeah, it's pretty high. That's why I say California is a state of hustlers. You can make it here if you're willing to have side hustles. You can make it here if you're willing to grind. You can make it here if you're willing to sacrifice. If you're not one of those people, if you want easy street, if you think it's just sunshine, rainbows, and government assistance here, people ricochet off this place. You got a little bit of that hustle, that little bit of that carpetbagger energy. You got a little grind, you got a little entrepreneurial streak, this is your state. But, you know, New York is similar. We talked about it yesterday. People bounce right off that motherfucker. New York is a city where you got to hustle and grind to make it. And if you're not a hustler and you're not a grinder and you weren't born into money in that fucking city, good luck. You bounce. I left California, best move ever. Not a hustler, not a grinder. You want that easy street life. You want that simple life. You are willing to trade beauty and opportunity for stability. That's what people get. You know, you're back in Kentucky. Your life is simple again. You don't have to hustle. You don't have to grind. You don't got to worry about your side gigs. Out here in California, we're soaking up the sun, but we're working for it. I don't know a single motherfucker that lives here that isn't rich from their daddy that doesn't grind it. Grind it. Fully grind it. You can have the sun. I don't have to take it from you. I don't have to get permission. I just have it. Your permission is not needed. I just have it. You can't take it from me. Sun sets here, bro. Sure, bro. Shit gets salty in here when I talk fucking reality. I do have that hustle energy, but I've always done what I needed to survive. I do not have that hustle energy. That's fine. You need that, though, here. If you know that about yourself and you can't really, like, ignite that in yourself, you're going to bounce right off of here. This is hella Cali cope, bro. The only one coping in here is you, bro. You've said that like 4 times now. But I haven't heard a counter argument. I like your perspective. I'm subscribed now. Cool, thanks. Welcome. Like the middle of nowhere, Montana, and I don't think I'd trade it for anything. Okay. Cool. If you're happy where you're at, man, be where you're at. Can't imagine moving from a paradise to a dictatorship, if that's even true. It probably isn't. It sounds like a troll to me. I'm an East Coast Canadian. As a dude with no horse in the race, Cali is beautiful. Truth. A lot of people will just admit it, you know, but there are people that are real salty about California. A lot of them are people that bounced off this fucking place, dude. Like, people get real mad when they bounce off of California. They're like, oh man, that was a shithole. It's unlivable. I don't know how people survive there. Well, yeah, that's right. You don't. That was the problem. Hi, everyone. Hi there, dude in Cyrillic. How's it going? Is Cali a place for people who already have a base to build off of? No. Or a place to start up. Get your first apartment and build up there. Seems like Cali's kind of bloated. It is, but here's the thing. It's for that all of that. Like, I'm not going to lie to you. It's easier for me here because I know how California works. I was born here. I was raised here, right? And it's a little easier for me because I have family that lives here. But if you go out into the world, if I were to go knock on my neighbor's doors, 9 out of 10 people that came to the door didn't grow up here. This is a state of transplants. People come here from other places to make a life for themselves, right? And so you don't need that. If you have, what you need is the drive to hustle and the determination to make it. If you've got that, Cali is wide open to everybody that has that. But if you lack those fundamental things, nothing against you, but you can't make it here. You can't do it. I'm just being real. I'm just being real. Darnella knows. She's a Cali girl. She knows. Thank you so much, baby. Oh my God, that looks good. Look at that. Isn't it beautiful?
Yeah, well, because remember I got a different mix because they were
It looks so beautiful. This is a little protein shake because I don't like eating in the morning.
Yeah.
You
like the new mix?
Oh man, that's fire.
Yeah.
That's so good. Darnella knows though. There's a few Cali folks in here. Like, I'm not trying to shit on you. It's just the truth. I'm curious what your opinion of the country's housing market is and where it's going. You usually have good opinions. Yeah. So 2008, when the market crash happened, I purchased a home that you guys wouldn't believe. Would not believe it. I was working as an entry-level guy at a school district doing fucking grunt work on computers, okay? Not a fucking glamorous job and not a high-paying job either. My wife at the time was just out of college and had just started an entry-level job at a firm doing her work and not making a lot of money. And we, in 2008, in the wake of that financial crisis, I'm sorry, baby.
No, I'm just trying to make it easier for you.
We were able to purchase a house that you guys fucking would not believe. It was a beautiful house. Big 4-bedroom, 3-bath house. 2 masters because it had an add-on. It was a smaller house that was built into a bigger house, permitted. Built on an old rock-solid late 60s foundation. They don't make them like that anymore. Hand-built, hand-designed. Didn't look like any other fucking house. Big, nice, beautiful pool in the backyard. The whole 9, bro. The dream. So I'm telling you right now that these prices are unsustainable. There's fuckery afoot. And eventually, in my experience, that economic fuckery comes to a head eventually. And there's going to be a massive, massive collapse in housing prices in this country. It may not happen for another 10 years. I can't tell you when. I'm just telling you, when there's fuckery afoot in the economy, it's not too long before the bill comes due. And when it does, a lot of these people that got these houses overpriced for $500,000 because they thought it was just going to go up forever are going to be so underwater on their loans that bankruptcy, people are going to lose their savings, their retirement, and you, as young people who have been functionally priced out of the market, get to profit off of all that misery because those houses that they bought for 500 grand at the time that the shit was hot are going to be 180, and you're going to get it for a song. That's my call, but you're going to have to wait it out. There's fuckery afoot, and there's only so far it can go.
It's a little different than 2008 because less people are doing the variable rate mortgage and they're being a little bit more cagey about it. So I think there's going to be
the
less
ultimate thing is the
bankruptcies.
same. A massive buy-up of these houses on risky, high loans that are overinflated price-wise. And now it's banks and companies doing it. So when it goes belly up, there's going to be a whole bailout package. You're going to see big institutions disappear.
And just dump their fucking
Zillow
property.
might go completely bankrupt. Zillow might just be something that we talk about like fucking
like MySpace or
was
something.
that Maps thing we used to do?
Oh, Waze.
No, before that, when you had to print out your fucking
MapQuest.
MapQuest. It'll be like MapQuest soon. Banks, there are going to be a ton of banks that go insolvent because they have bought banked so heavily. There are whole neighborhoods that are bank owned. Nobody can afford to live there. Nobody wants to pay the premium, and the banks don't care because they look at it like an investment. They know that that $500,000 house they put on the rolls probably going to be worth 6 next year, and when it's worth 2, those banks are going to come screaming to the people to bail them out again, and we will. We will. The silver lining is these rich motherfuckers that have accumulated all this property and use it to squeeze us are going to go belly up. And what's left behind is going to be really nice houses for a pretty reasonable price. And you get in low. The next time this goes, if you decide you want to sell, you get to profit off of these idiots. You get to take your $180,000 house and snatch $600,000 for it, and laugh your way to the bank while it collapses again. These people are morons. And it's a moronic system. It's a Jenga tower that should have toppled fucking 20 years ago. It's being kept up by malfeasance. There's cheaters. Nah, they'll be fine. They weren't in 2008, my dude. Tons of people lost their livelihoods, their jobs, their dignity, their fucking whole homes. Their whole plan for life went belly up.
Well, so much wealth is built just on real estate alone.
Mm-hmm.
And when the mortgage rates go down where it's like, I could buy a house and be paying $1,000 less a month, they're not going to be able to charge that rent to cover that mortgage anymore.
Right. You guys understand what underwater on a loan means? That means you've taken out a 30-year loan on a $500,000 property that's now worth $200,000. It means you owe $300,000 of nothing. It's called being underwater on a loan. That's what happened in 2008 to average people and rich people alike. All of a sudden, they were sitting in this nice property that they paid a fuck ton for, and it was worth dog shit. And they couldn't get out of that loan unless they went bankrupt. You have to pay back $300,000 of non-value in that house before you even start on the principal. That's called being underwater. That's untenable.
That's what a lot of people do with cars. Like, they'll buy a new car, and if you end up biting off more than you can chew, you can never sell the car for what you owe.
Yes, the people lost everything, but as you said, the banks got bailed out. Look up Bear Stearns. Not all the banks got bailed out. Look up Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac. Look up Bank of America and its acquisition of Countrywide. Not all the banks got bailed out. Your hair is producing cheese at this point? Really? What do you mean by that? That it's greasy? It is a little greasy. I do tend to get my hair does tend to get a little greasy, but if I wash it too much, I get dandruff. So I'm always riding that line. I don't think it's that greasy, though. It doesn't look like it's producing cheese.
I think they're just... It's gray.
It's gray, yeah. It's very gray. Maybe he meant it was like yellow or blonde or something. I don't know, man. Would the government step in this time with stimulus? They did the last time. Yes, they would. Yeah, they probably will. But most of it will be a giant bailout to big corporations so that they don't go belly up and take the whole world economy with it. That's what happened in 2008. We're that far.
I don't think they'll do as many stimuluses as COVID because they realized that started inflation pretty bad.
Yeah. Head and Shoulders, that's what I needed when I have hair. I just have to wash my hair like twice a week. If I do it more than that, my hair gets frizzy and my scalp gets dry and itchy and flaky and shit.
Well, I gave you Head and Shoulders too, remember?
Yeah, I do use that. I don't use it every time though. That's the thing. I don't need it that bad as long as I'm not washing my hair too much and drying my scalp out. So I'd say twice a week, maybe once a week, I go in, I give my hair a good fucking shampoo, a good condition, and then I will recondition midway through the week. And, it's been 2 or 3 days, so my hair is starting to get a little bit greasy.
But you got a little dry shampoo, too.
I do. I use that sometimes, too. But, it's way better managing it this way, so that's what I do. I wouldn't have known you were Paul Seago without the voice. You look very different. I do. Yeah. I do, yeah. I've been through a lot, man. I've changed a lot. I've gotten old. I've gone from a young man to an older gentleman in front of your eyes, you know? Yeah, I've had a lot of life. I've lived a lot. I feel good, though, if that matters to you. Hey, Paul, what's your favorite Nirvana song? I always vacillate on this. I really love Sliver, so I'll say Sliver. Oh, you got yourself a little skosh?
Yeah.
Oh, shit. Well, I want you to know, you and TJ inspired me to go to law school. I just finished my first year. One of the best law schools in the country, Washington U. Hopefully, I'll be able to make a difference. Awesome, man. It's a good... Oh, go ahead, baby.
I said, I don't know how you guys inspired law school specifically.
I don't know either. I mean, the truth of the matter is a lot of these people started watching us real young, like middle school, high school age. They've listened to us. Like, I listened to other kind of celebrities / ranters and stuff of my time, you know? I can look back at those dudes and say that they influenced my philosophy. So I get it. But yeah, sometimes it's hard for me to connect, like, how anything I ever said or did provided an example that sent you to one of the best law schools in the country. But cool, man. Cool. Congrats.
What is it, dude?
You dig Alice in Chains? Alice in Chains was a victim of a thing that really doesn't exist anymore. Back in the day, before the internet, when Alice in Chains was big, kind of had to rely on like MTV and the radio to hear your good music. And there's a song that Alice in Chains did called Rooster, and it's a song that he wrote about his dad, who was a Vietnam veteran. And it's actually a cool song if you listen to it. But that song, I literally have a reflexive action to turn it off or hit next or change the channel, or like whatever you do. Like if it comes up on one of my Spotify smart playlists, ain't found a way to kill me yet. It's just like I go, I can't do that again. Hey, this is Uncle. Sorry, I didn't get the lore exactly right.
Alice in Chains is my first concert.
Really?
Well, it was AWOL Nation and Alice in Chains. It was like a music festival, and that was like the double feature. At the
What
end
did you
the
think
night.
of them?
I thought they were pretty decent, you know. It was a little raucous. People were taking their bras off, just chugging wine.
Yeah,
on
they're a little hard.
stage.
It's a seedy one though.
Yeah.
I like it, but I'm gonna have to be careful I don't get seeds between my teeth.
Oh yeah, because it's all berries.
It's got berries.
Yeah.
I love it though. It's so good. I love Man in a Box. That was their first big hit. I'm the man in a box. Dot 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 dot. Buried in my shit. It's a good song.
I quote unquote volunteered for that festival, which just means I was free labor.
Dude, I feel so bad. I had a friend. We used to call him Wreckage. That was his nickname. His real name was Derek. And he was the world's biggest Alice in Chains fan, especially Lane Staley, the lead singer of Alice in Chains. And in the early 2000s, Lane Staley overdosed on drugs and died. And he was busted up about it. And the rest of us were kind of like, didn't know how to deal with it as young men, the emotion. And so I went like, damn, man, that's harsh. I guess now he really is the man in the box. He was like, fuck you. He just like left. Got real mad. We made up, you know, but it was, I look back on that, I was like, man, I was an asshole, bro. I was a fucking asshole. I didn't have to take it there. But yeah, suffice it to say, I'm not the world's biggest fucking Alice in Chains fan, but I can appreciate it. I feel the same way about like Pearl Jam. Pearl Jam was huge when I was a kid. A lot of my friends were into it. Some of us weren't, though. Like, my close group of friends kind of made fun of Pearl Jam a little bit. Eddie Vedder's got a very tough to wrap your head around singing style, especially his early shit. I like his later shit because he kind of got grungy and metally with it. Like, I love the I'm a beast, I'm a man, I'm the first monkey to have hands, yeah. I like that shit. But like, there on me more. He was very mumbly, you know. We used to make fun of him. I was a Nirvana fan. I liked Stone Temple Pilots, so I liked that genre of music. But there were some bands in there that I'm not a big fan of. Do you follow beefs? Not really modern ones. I've been following the Kendrick and Drake beef because I think it's kind of funny. But like, not really. I used to follow beefs though. As a 90s hip hop head, of course I followed beefs, dude. That whole East Coast, West Coast shit was too juicy, man. Admire me, admire my son, admire my home, admire my throne, or whatever it is. That song is so good. It's evolution, baby. You're built by built like a 1x1 Lego piece. Damn, bro, that's harsh. That's hard, man. That hurt my feelings. I'm a beast. I'm a man. I'm the first monkey to have hands. Yeah, I'm a thief. I'm a liar. I gotta go to the joint. I'll be right back. Admire me, admire my home, admire my son, he's my clone. It's evolution, baby. You ever roll blunts? I don't really know. I like a blunt, but they're a lot of work for not a lot of payoff for me. Can't believe there are Trumpers in 2024. What's wrong with those people? What world are they living in? They're living in a world that's been sharply divided by partisan news media and a two-party system that is hand in glove. They've been manipulated into hating one another. And when I say one another, I mean all of us hating one another for our political opinions. And Donald Trump, to them, from their perspective, is an agitator, a political outsider, somebody that has their best interests at heart. Now, are they right about that? No. But should we look at them as lesser because of that? No, you're never going to convince one of these people by being mean to them. You know, so yeah, that's how I feel about it, man. I know I've been mean to, like, and I probably will in the future. I get passionate sometimes, I get mean, but ultimately that's how I feel about it, right? I might not be the guy to do it, but we need to talk to these people on their level and in a way that you know, it's not otherizing them immediately and doesn't make them feel like you think they're a moron right off rip. Because that's not, you know, if somebody came at you like that, you wouldn't listen to them, so why would you expect them to listen to you? What good has Biden done for our country? Very little to none. I'm not a Biden voter. I know you might assume that about me because I'm a leftist. I don't know if you're new here, Angie. It's cool though. But I hate fucking Joe Biden just as much as I hate Donald Trump. I am his opposition as much as I oppose Trump. I am on the left of the political spectrum, but I don't think that you are wrong in your desire to change things massively. And I think there are mutually beneficial things that could happen that we would probably both agree on, man. Honestly, you mistake me if you think I'm a Joe Biden guy. You got the wrong guy here. How can you communicate effectively with people that believe and support Trump over their friends, family members? Did you hear what I just did? Do that. They're human beings. Talk to them like they're human beings. They're not idiots. They're not morons. They're just people that, from our perspective, have been led down a path we don't believe in. Thank you for your honesty. No problem, Angie. Thank you for yours. I appreciate the dialogue, and I appreciate you being cool about it and not just yelling at me because we don't agree on something. Because I think we agree on more than you think, and I think you feel the same way. I think if we sat down and talked about the things we think are a problem in this country, I think we'd agree on most of that, Angie. Despite that. Yeah, I'm glad you don't think I'm just a Biden guy. I fucking hate Joe Biden. I didn't vote for him, and I won't be voting for him this year. Economics is the key. Yeah, absolutely. Everybody's pockets are light. Everybody's feeling the pressure of taxes and lower wages and lower social services and stuff. That's all universal, man. You don't have to be a Republican or a Democrat to know that shit. And that's my politics, man. I'm for the working man. I'm for the working people, the blue-collar people of this country who've been taken for a fucking ride, who've been taxed into oblivion, who've been asked to shoulder more and more of the burden of this effete, bourgeoisie, fucking shitty political system that just spends money hand over fist and has nothing to give back. I'm sick of it, man. And so are Republicans. By and large, the ones that I talk to, they're sick of that shit too. Union Railroader, we're fighting a contract change. We're trying to give a shittier healthcare plan. Solidarity, my friend. What's your union so I can look up your fucking struggle? You gonna give me your local number? If you have one. I know that some fucking government unions don't have a local, but if you have some identifiable information, like give me your geography so I can look up and follow your struggle and follow your progress. Dinosaur Junior shirt rules? It's not, but this is the Dinosaur shirt. But yeah, I get it. Well, I just need to know why you hate cartoons. I really disagree. There's nothing wrong with living life as your inner child. I don't hate cartoons. I just don't watch them. They're not my cup of tea, Kate. So now you know. The harm reduction vote is a sham. It is. How's it harm reduction to vote for a man supporting a genocide? It isn't. Your advice has helped me reach out to my uncle. You also sparked my interest and desire to help my fellow healthcare workers unite. Cool. Go out there and do the work, man. You're doing better doing any kind of agitation for union stuff, talking to your family members who don't agree with you in a humanizing way and finding common ground. You're doing more work doing that has more of a footprint in reality than anything that you do online. Any streamer you watch and support, me included, right? You going out there and doing the actual work, you times that by a couple million, you got a change in society, right? So you're working. So kudos to you and keep it up. Don't get discouraged. Accidentally scrolled down during your live yesterday and discovered Daisy, the Venice Beach healer. Are you near her? What? I don't know what the fuck that is, bro. No, I mean, she's in Venice Beach. I'm about 4.5, 5 hours from her. XQC is the big streamer right now, but he's hard to understand. I mean, it's kids. He resonates with the kids. Paul, will assisting Israel and Ukraine affect our economy at all? Already has. Yeah, I mean, anytime you hear about billions of dollars going overseas, that's billions of dollars of federal money that could have stayed right here. People will lie to you and tell you, oh, they're just sending weapons, you're not sending money. Like, they don't understand that those weapons are a commodity, that they represent a dollar figure, right? How the fuck do people know what that guy is saying? I don't know, bro. I haven't listened to a whole lot of XQC, so I don't really want to talk out of school, you know? I'm trying not to be a hater on this stuff as much, the stuff young kids are into, especially young boys. It's tough being a young man, dude. You got a lot to figure out, and they have it tough right now. They got a lot of these fucking real dumb guys that are being their kind of like role models. And I know how hard that can be, and I'm trying not to hate, you know. I don't know if XQC is the best guy, but I don't think he's like one of the worst either. I don't know though. I don't watch him. Comes off as a harmless idiot. I don't even want to be that mean to the guy. I don't know enough. What's your immediate immediate advice for young people wanting to get a home right now? Work on your credit. Get a credit card, put bills on it, and pay off the entire balance every month before the interest cycles. You do that for 10 years, your credit will be in like 720, 730 range, and people will be throwing loans at you. Literally throwing them at you, trying to get you to take loans. Buy land. If you can afford it, buy land. Are you still live, Paul? Go to sleep. I'm awake now, man. My day has begun. I got up bright and early, 6 a.m. I've been streaming for a couple hours now, and my battery's about to die, so I've got one more little fucking part of a joint there that I'm gonna finish, and then we're gonna call this. Is your father God? Yes. I am his only son, and I'm here to save your soul. My sacrament is the holy plant of marijuana. This is my body. Take it into yourself. This is my blood. Drink it into yourself. This is my flesh. Eat of it. I just subbed. Thanks. Welcome. Welcome, new guy. I like what you say, bro. I like what you say. You in New York City? Says NY native, you must be a fucking New York boy. You know, I was talking earlier about how California is a fucking place for hustlers only, and New York City fills right into that, dude. People bounce off that motherfucker, don't they? People go boing right off of that fucking city, man. If you're not a hustler and you're not willing to do it, you can't make it in NYC, man. It's a place where dreams are crushed. Hey, Paul, I meant to say this the other day. I was driving. You go see an audiologist. I am going to. Thank you for the... Yeah, I am going to go check out my hearing because it's real bad. And I want to get on top of it early if I have to. I feel like if I had to put a judge on it, I've got about 20 to 25% hearing loss. Any strain recommendations? No. If it's marijuana, it doesn't have seeds in it, and it's good and sticky, smoke it. That's my recommendation. My grandmother has had hearing aids since she was 40, yeah. Apparently hearing loss is a major contributor to dementia. It can be. Y'all better come bounce off of NYC for your next meetup. We will be. We will be on the East Coast and possibly right there in the fucking heart of it all, New York City. Do you smoke weed? Yes. I do. I'm smoking weed now. If you have some, let's get it. Come to St. Louis? No, thanks. I don't do the South, brother. I lived in the South for too long. I know I'm not a man of the South, okay? I got a little bit of southernness in me. I can talk the lingo if I need to. I grew up around the lingo, but as far as the South, it don't really... I'm a West Coast boy, all right? That's just the way it is. Joint is done. Cool. I'm still finishing mine, but when it's done, it's done. I'm gonna end this. Hi, Jenkins Sassafras. Play Magic the Gathering? I do not, but I used to back in the 90s. People would hate me, dude. Magic people now would hate me, bro, because I actually played it like a game, so I would just like shuffle my deck. I didn't have like covers or slips on my cards or anything. I just went... Because I actually played it like a game. I didn't really collect it. I didn't look at it like that, like people look at it now. Like, oh God, I'm a collector and I have to keep them, you know, fucking A1 mint. Yeah, you'd hate me if you saw my deck back in the day. You know what the sad thing is too? Is I used to have some badass cards, bro. I had an original print Wheel of Fortune. I had 4 demonic tutors. I had an original, all the original, the original release, Dark Rituals. I was a black player. I had, you know, all of these kind of cards that have become really expensive. I had a Nevenral's Disc. I had a bunch of really good shit. Some early release Sendir Vampires. I had some stuff from Arabian Nights, just some really old cards, man. Some cards that are worth a couple $100 now. And I was just like, please tell me they were sleeved. Fuck no, they weren't sleeved. I played those things like a deck of cards. And all my friends did too. Never saw a Black Lotus. The Black Lotus was already a legend in the 90s. I never saw one in person until I saw one in a magic shop. Do you go live often? Yeah, every other day usually, man. I'm here in the mornings usually. I also have a podcast. That's how I make my money. It's called Deep Fat Fried here on YouTube. You can also search Onion Nuggets. That's our like clip channel. That's a better one to go to if you want to see the kind of stuff we do. So look, search Onion Nuggets. You'll see me on there. That's our clip channel. See if you vibe with it, man. That's how I make my bread. I do this for free, man. I do these for fun. But yeah, pretty much every morning or every other morning I'm out here talking my shit, smoking my doobies and finishing up my shit. But anyways, I hate to do it, but my phone's about to die. That's usually the timer on these. I got no J's out here. I got no cigarettes out here. I think it's time to go. Thanks for joining me. Check out my Discord. It's Pessimist Productions on Patreon. My Discord is discord.gg/Paul. Very easy to find. It's called Salt Rackus. All are welcome. Read the rules. Subscribe if you liked what you saw today and you're new, and I'll see you guys next time. All right.